What is going on, everybody? Welcome to what that was. Oh man. Um, Good morning or good afternoon, depending on which part of the world you're in, and welcome to Hunting Hitler. And speaking of what's up there, Mr. Different parts of the world, Mr. Clifton 3D.
Yeah, hey. I have to say it was kind of a lackluster that way around episode, but yeah.
It wasn't his usual dramatization.
No, it wasn't.
And speaking of the Admiral, she's got wings in it this time. I don't know if you'd be an admiral in that direction. Oh wow, you got an outfit.
Right?
Awesome.
It's actually pretty detailed.
I know, right? How do you know I'm not a real a Royal Navy admiral? You can also fly planes.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're an admiral, you probably have flown a plane, but you probably wouldn't still fly planes.
There's quite a few that do.
Really? Then your military is different than ours.
This is a special mission. Okay, this has been a special mission for a number of months. If I need to fly a plane, I'm gonna fly a plane to catch that motherfucker. So I'm flying a plane today. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
Yeah, let's catch that motherfucker. I swear. No, seriously. Thanks everybody for being here. We are live all over the place. Jason says, let's go. And of course, Clifton says, hey-o. And it says, hola. I was asking Clifton, I don't know what this means. Piper 214 Lima Roger.
You don't need to.
I don't need to?
Oh, that's for chat. It's not for the both of you. So
I don't know if chat knows what that means. They might. I don't know. Boo says, hi, Clifton, Jason, Ryan. Oh, hi, Anna.
Hi, Jason. Hi, Clifton. Hi, Ryan. Hi, Boosh.
We found out that Anna has a bald midget as an armrest, although that might be her knee.
No, yeah, I just sometimes I put my knee up and I do that. And I was wearing pants which were pink. So Boosh thought it was somebody's bald head. It wasn't.
That's not true. She keeps a midget in the closet. Don't lie.
No, I'm not into that kind of stuff.
That's fair. So anyway, shout out to anybody watching on all platforms. Thank you for being here. This one was it wasn't as dramatic, no, but there was a lot of good information and things that kind of make you go, ooh, that's interesting. So without any further delay, let's get into the non-drama. Maybe I might not laugh at this episode as much. So.
Previously on Hunting Hitler.
If it was fleeing Berlin, he had an intermediate stop.
Jesus, that's
Denmark
horrifying.
Makes a lot of sense. It's not like the Allies are landing on the beaches there. Until May 5th, Denmark was still a Nazi stronghold.
Hi, Andy. What you into?
Keep a secret. These are people you can trust.
Just midgets in closets.
Hitler and several comrades in May 1945. Where did you see them? In Tonder.
That sounds worse.
Conditions you could land.
It's like, what are you into? Just Hitler. What?
Yeah.
Here.
You know what I mean.
No, I know what you mean, but it's funny though.
You're not going to get a big airplane in here. That discounts it completely. What if these trees weren't here? I'm going to take a sample of this tree and make a determination.
So we're just recapping real quick. We don't really need to recap. So now let's skip ahead just a little bit. We know what it was about. Don't clip that. Clip away. I mean, I said dumber shit.
I found somebody in my pocket. Somebody found a midget in my pocket. I found something in my pocket. Oh, look. It's UK stamps. Nice. Great.
Do you mail stuff?
Yeah, I do. And I have not worn this coat in a very long time. So I'm kind of boiling right now.
I can imagine so. It looks really warm.
Yeah, it is. But
I mean, you can take it off if you want.
I will when I get to Spain, to that beach. I will.
To me,
closer than we've been to the truth since we started this.
No question about it.
21-year CIA veteran Bob Baer and war crimes investigator Dr. John Sensich are overseeing a dual-pronged investigation while a European team investigates how Hitler could have escaped from Berlin to Denmark. The South American team is investigating whether Hitler could have eventually reached a Nazi compound in the jungles of Argentina.
If I were planning Hitler's escape, I would go to Denmark.
They focus in on the European leg of their investigation. In Tonder, Denmark, they've uncovered a secret Nazi airbase at the location that SS Major Mackensen, in his declassified Nuremberg testimony, placed Hitler arriving from Germany.
All the arrows are pointing to Tonder. Now, the issue when they got there and they looked at this, Lenny, was there were trees. You couldn't land.
We also have the results of the tree core analysis. We had the dilemma about the trees. He said, let's take a look and see when these trees were actually planted. As you can see here, that's just a little over 1950, after the Second World War.
So any aircraft could land there.
And take off.
Hey,
and
love it.
take off.
Hey, love it.
First, we have Major saying he
Great
saw
to see
Hitler.
you.
And then the
It's always great to see love it.
It's always great to see everyone.
Yeah.
That's true. Maybe not Bush. I'm kidding, Bush. I kid. I like Bush. Bush cracks me up. So yeah, so we just found out that the wood is older, younger than World War II, so it makes sense. Bush, she's probably in I don't know what chat you're in. If you're in the Legion Talk one, then she's probably in the Legion Teaches History. So
Yeah. So there's there's two streams. Once again, hey love, there's one on Legion Teaches History and one on Legion Talk. And so thank you for watching on either, but that's why sometimes you can't see the comments. Because we can see them all on both.
I haven't switched it over because it just seems to be that people kind of like it, so I've kind of just left it. And who might have? There are 56 streams. That's true. There's also one on X, and one on Rumble, and Twitch,
one on Twitch,
which nobody uses. I don't know why I still stream to Twitch. Does anybody care about
I don't know
Twitch?
why you stream at all.
Wow. All right. Well, you know what? You just run the show yourself.
All right, take care. Hey, so
No, that was that was. I'm sorry.
No, you don't have to be sorry. So much diversity.
but no, definitely.
God's right.
I mean, if you haven't already subbed to Legion Teaches History, go and do that.
Legion Touches History.
I don't know what to
Touches
say about
upon history. Oh my god, you guys, you dirty minds. So okay, now we're getting back to what are we doing again?
Mustache Man.
had the complete infrastructure that would have supported fleeing Nazis. I mean, it's all lining up very nicely into a consistent story. All right, you get to Tonder, and the question is, what is the next place that Hitler would go?
Well, the only thing that we can do right now is to go deeper into the statements like the SS major during the Nuremberg trials.
See what we come up with. 15 March 1948, question, Hitler was at the airport. Yes, Hitler was. You were all Germans? Leon de Grelle is the only foreigner. Who's Leon de Grelle?
I don't know, don't have a clue. Let's dig in here and see what we've got on Mr. de Grelle.
Oh, here we go. Mr. de Grelle actively collaborated with the Nazis. During a ceremony to honor him for wartime actions, Mr. de Grelle said Hitler told him, if I had a son, I would have liked him to be like you. If you're on the run, there's very few people you would trust. And clearly, he looked at de Grelle as family.
Therefore, if de Grelle was with Hitler in Denmark, this is not just a coincidence. Let's see exactly what else we might have on de Grelle.
Also, real quick, Boosh. According to the history books, yes, but it is pretty sketchy at best, the details of that.
Well, I
Well,
mean, by now he would probably be, unless
Oh,
he's
no, yeah, he
actually
is.
is a superhuman.
I
Then
mean,
Yeah, no, he's dead
he might have
now.
died on the 30th of April in Berlin, but I'm gonna be dying soon in this Hitler. That was so bad. But
Woman, take it off.
yeah, I'm gonna take it. I can't wait till I get to Spain. Ugh. Thank
That
you.
thing looks. You're welcome. I mean, the costume was great. You didn't have to put it on, keep it on the whole time. Yes, Hitler is dead now. That's what I think Bush was alluding to. I'm just
Yeah.
dense. It's still morning for me, and I've only had like one sip of caffeine.
I'm almost ready to go to bed.
Well, you're in a different part of the world, aren't you? Andy Pickle says, like Palpatine, he made clones and then possessed them. Yes. Yes, Bush, she was taking her jacket off. Easy, big fella.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah. In May 1940.
Isn't that a hat hot too?
no, because it's fake.
Oh,
That wasn't fake. That was real. Sheepskin.
oh.
This is fake.
Well,
I mean,
look-
shit, it's not fit. This is completely real. I'm an admiral. I'm flying a plane today. I'm trying to figure out if I could land somewhere in Spain.
I don't want to. I'm actually look. God bless Dermy for taking his shirt off all the time when he gets drunk, but I'd probably have to be bombed to just willingly take my shirt off and be like, yes, like, and I would do it probably kind of like that on stream. I mean,
What? Clifton's like, what the?
I don't know what's going on anymore. Anna fakes her
What
costumes.
the friend steak?
Yeah,
I
it
think-
isn't gay. It's
yeah.
just bro being bros. I didn't say it was gay. let's get to the show.
Mr.
This is
DeGrelle
way off the
managed
rails
to
already.
escape
See, love it's
in an
like good God.
airplane and landed in San Sebastian, Spain.
Well, I mean, that completely fits. I mean,
That's
look,
true. That's
the
true.
Date, May 45. He escapes in an airplane from Denmark and goes to Spain.
Earlier in the investigation, we concluded that one of the most likely places that Hitler would have gone from Germany would have been Spain. You begin to see a pattern.
The obvious question is, did he take Hitler with him on the same plane?
So I think we need to get the team into San Sebastian. Is there something that we can find on the ground that corroborates that DeGrelle landed in an airplane in 1945?
Let's do it.
We've been
Awesome
told
place,
that
though.
Leon DeGrelle
Yeah,
flies to
looks nice.
San Sebastian. Why does he come here? Why this little corner of Spain? And I guess that's what we need to try and find out.
World War II historian James Holland lands in the remote coastal town of San Sebastian in northern Spain. He is joined by Mike Simpson, Special Forces reconnaissance expert.
I have a career that spans 3 decades, almost all of it in special operations. I've served as an airborne ranger, as a special forces operator. In 32 years, I've hunted drug lords, I've
I'll
hunted
take off my
terrorists.
hat.
But this is the villain to end all villains, Adolf Hitler himself. This is the big prize, and I want to go after it.
Did you get a haircut?
Mm-hmm.
In search of
did you
evidence
do
that
that?
Leon DeGrelle could have
Yesterday.
arrived in San Sebastian.
Oh, cool. Looks good.
Thank you. Yeah, I it's getting warm here, so the whole thing was. I would usually, I usually did the kind of same thing in Florida. Bush says the most recognizable man in the last 500 years went to Denmark and Spain, and no one said, "Are you Hitler?" And he went 9999.
Right. I mean, yeah, we've talked about this like throughout the whole of the first season, and there's just so many inconsistencies. But then again, there's a lot of things that do make sense, and like, in this episode, and I actually like said to Clifton, I'm like, I can't make fun of anything because there's nothing to make fun of, really. Like it's a pretty serious, heavy episode in terms of the facts that are being presented, even in terms of like circumstantial evidence. They're not goofing around and looking for holes in the ground and comparing tiles and stuff in the jungle. It's a lot more interesting because of the witnesses and because of some of the documents that they discover. But then I still have things to say, but they're serious things. And there's no Tim Kennedy, so it's not funny. Well, there is like for a couple of seconds.
There's no Tim Kennedy, so it's not funny.
Yeah.
Well,
So
he doesn't go swimming.
He doesn't
When
go
he's-
swimming. He doesn't like go around the jungle like Nathan Drake going, "Oh my God, look, a wall! It's a wall, and here's another wall," like he did last time. So it was kind of like me.
man, Tim Kennedy can't catch a win either. Like
And I
He
actually
thinks-
I did not know this, but he does MMA.
Mhm.
He's an MMA fighter. I was like,
Yep.
cool. Yeah.
I follow him on Twitter. Hello, Kathleen.
Hi,
Hey.
Kathy. Great to see you.
Clifton, you gotta say it.
What
Hello there.
do I? I'm kind
It's
of
Revenge of the Fifth, sir.
yeah. All right, I guess I can do it, but I am
No, I'm
kind
just
of,
kidding. You don't have to.
I
I'm
am
just
kind
messing
with the whole Joby one Kenobi.
with you. Yeah. Oh. Hitler's
Right.
boring Anna.
Hello
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I can still do it.
Stupid Mark Hamill.
I mean, they did steal my face. I can't do anything about it, right?
It's true.
Right? Yeah.
All right. So let's get to some
Team has been
records.
granted access to Phototeca, a private archive of thousands of photos of the town's political and cultural life during the 20th century.
Estamos buscando para los periódicos de mayo 1945.
We're really interested in Leon de Grael arriving here.
Pero habría que buscarla.
When you're talking about a remote part of the world, archives are almost your first port of call because as a historian, you want to look at documents, things that happen absolutely of the moment. 1945. So the first thing I'm looking for is a plane that de Grael came over. But I wasn't finding that. So let's look elsewhere. Is there any signs of German influence here in this neck of the woods? Very quickly, the answer is yes. Here's some German helmets. They're Spanish, but they're wearing German helmets. And this shows that the Germans have been supplying the Spanish with equipment.
So I
Stormtrooper helmet. It's very, very distinct. It's hard to miss that thing. Yes, Boosh, it is May 25th, by the way. That's when the first Star Wars movie came out. It's on that day.
we got
So
another one here. The fascist salutes in the plaza downtown here.
Lots of Nazis. You know, the dagger and stuff is the feature of the SS.
What really surprises me is we're seeing so much evidence of the Germans being here, and you can't flip 2 pages without seeing a swastika or a German soldier.
No. You know, if you're an escaping Nazi, this would be a good place to come, clearly.
Oh yeah.
Everything we're seeing says that there was a deep-seated Nazi presence here. It really has to make somebody ask, if this is what we're seeing in the archives, how deep did it really run?
Yo creo que hay una persona que os podría ayudar y se llama Jaime Rodríguez Solís. Fue testigo del evento.
You're gonna want to hear this. He's found someone who was supposedly an eyewitness to de Grael's landing.
Wow. He lives here in San Sebastian.
He has his address. We have a name and address of an eyewitness to the de Grael landing. With a 70-year-old cold case. A living eyewitness is exactly what you want. It is like hitting the jackpot.
So it's just him.
James and Mike arrive at the home of Jaime Rodriguez Solis, a rumored eyewitness to de Grael's arrival in May 1945.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. Morning.
Hi, I'm Mike.
Maya. Hello.
This is James, my colleague.
Nice to meet you. Is this my father, Jaime Rodriguez?
Fascinated to know what it was like in this.
Jesus, he looks terrified. He's like, what the hell? What? Who are these
Yeah,
guys?
kind of. But to me, it kind of seemed like he like at the end of this interview, they fly over a building and it kind of looks like old folks' home or something. So he may not know exactly what's going on.
Oh. Oh, bless him.
I mean, kind of. I got the feeling of like that after the
Yeah.
interview. That he may not know exactly what's going on, just,
Yeah, so
answering
he's not
questions
really
what
a
his
reliable witness.
at least in my eye. I mean,
I'm not laughing at you guys. I'm
Ye
laughing at what Bush sent me.
Oh,
Mm.
dear.
It's
like
pretty. It's making fun of Mark Hamill when he went to the White House and he's waving like this, so his hands extended, and it's like, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I'll show it. It's funny.
but
It's
yeah, I mean, with this guy, I wouldn't necessarily say that he's unreliable, but I didn't think that he knew exactly, like, why are these people asking me these questions?
Mm.
Mm.
yeah, it's well, I mean, he's
He
old, so
Yeah, he's definitely older and an eyewitness, you won't get anyone young that is
Are you talking about Mark Hamill or this poor man in the
the poor man in the
geriatric
chair.
unit? Who are you talking about? Which one?
The poor man in the chair who
Okay.
Anna was laughing at because he looked terrified.
Not the both the ones who are in the White House. Okay.
Yeah, no, not those senile old men. The other senile old man on the show. Apparently Anna laughs at old people.
I
Do you laugh
don't. I
you
feel
laugh
so
when old people fall down?
bad. No. I would laugh at anybody falling down. The funniest thing is when you get into like a bus or a train and the doors close on someone and they're like and they're stuck. It's funny.
Outside or inside? Because outside actually kind of is not funny.
When you're standing there and it happens to them and they're like, ah, and the doors keep like opening and closing.
Wow.
Okay, I'm evil. Yeah.
That's what not really. I just wanted to wait long enough to see how long she'd be like going, all right, I'm a bad person. I don't think Anna's made me laugh that hard, but and I was there for most of Star Trek. Yes, yes. We're still trying to hash out when to bring Star Trek back. It might be a little bit longer. So, um, good Lord, she's terrible. I love it when old people get stuck indoors.
Now I have to clarify any kind of people.
Not just old people, little
Yeah.
kids.
Little kids. People with certain difficulties. Okay,
just
I'm
anyone who
just
isn't
gonna
you.
fly the plane. I'm just gonna fly the plane. Go ahead.
What's up, Jacob? You've made it just in time to laugh at old people and children getting hurt.
En aquel momento tenían
That was
estudiadas
fun.
relaciones porque estaban ganando la guerra.
And what about once the war ended? Can you remember seeing any Germans come to this part of the world?
People helped them to hide. When they passed to Spain, the Nazis, they had no problems.
And we've heard that there was a Nazi called Leon de Grelle.
León de Grelle.
León de Grelle es el que vino en el avión.
Ese es el del avión, ¿no?
He flew in, but we don't know where.
He says he remembers. He went and he saw it.
Oh, really?
My friend said the plane landed at the beach.
It landed on the
estaba?
beach?
In the beach.
Not on an airfield?
No. En la playa.
Yeah,
When
on
they
a
arrived,
beach.
it was there in the water.
Anyone else come out of the plane?
He doesn't know. That he cannot tell you. He says that the following day, when he went to the beach, the plane was not there anymore.
Really? Just one day later?
They figured out that the local authorities removed it.
But that slightly suggests they want to get rid of it quite quickly, doesn't it?
It's definitely a little suspicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely super suspicious. And again,
I mean, not really. I mean, if you're still talking 1945, you wouldn't want to have a German plane just sitting around on a beach in Spain.
well, yeah, because it would kind of suggest that maybe you're helping them.
Well, also you have to remember that, for instance, I don't know about like France during that time, but Stalin was very much like he really wanted to bring Hitler in, even before the fall of Berlin. And he actually had a thing where he had General Zhukov, who's like a hero in Russia. He led the assault on Berlin and the battle in the end from the Soviet side. And then you had the Ukrainian guys, and he kind of like did a funny thing where he's like, whoever gets the body first or captures the Fuhrer first is gonna be like in my favor for the rest of your life. And so they had like a competition. And at that point, Stalin also established like a super secret team of like counterintelligence people who were also infiltrating every part of the military and army. They were called Smersh, which is like a combination of words, of like death and spies. So like death to spies. And also it sounds like Smerch, which means tornado. And they were going around and they were also looking for this guy. They were trying to see if he was going to escape. They were there in Berlin. They were there in France. They were there with the Allies. So they would have been in Italy and Spain and everywhere. So, like, if it was him, it'd be like you don't want to leave evidence for these guys to be on your trail because they were really good at what they were doing.
You're welcome, Wade. I hope you enjoy it, man. Enjoy playing some Star Wars.
Wade, hello.
Hey, Wade. And hey,
Yeah,
Jacob.
he said, "You three are cool peeps of mine." That's true. I'm pretty cool. No. No. So, well, awesome. I didn't know any of that. I've got to, yeah. So, this is why she's on the show. She's smarter than me.
I don't, yeah, I guess like from James Bond.
I didn't know that. I don't think I've seen that Bond movie.
No.
I haven't seen them all, to be fair, because there's like 27.
I've
It's a
seen
lot.
like the Sean Connery, like the old one. I haven't seen the Daniel Craig ones. I don't know. Not my thing.
They're okay. They're different. It doesn't feel as James Bondish.
In my teens, I watched the, what's his name?
Pierce Brosnan. Oh my
Yeah.
God, he was a good Bond. Yeah.
He's my favorite.
Yeah.
GoldenEye 007. Still one of the best games ever. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. It was good to hang out with you. I did a couple.
When was that? I was trying to look out for your stream, and I did not see. Was it like a chill stream or like a one-on-one?
It was like Star Wars Day or something. It was labeled.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know which one.
Yeah. So it was at like 10:30 Central Standard Time, which is an hour ahead of me. So that would be what, 6 hours behind for you? 6 or 7, somewhere in there. Yes, happy Cinco de Mayo. Yes, that's very true in that game because you suck. Like the character was so hard to hit. Seriously, he's like half the size of a normal guy. But I love that game. Anyway, yeah, no. So it was fun. Jason hopped on, I think, like halfway through. We were just talking a bunch of goofy Star Wars, talking about the good stuff, the EU, Legos. Wade kept showing Legos, which I'm not gonna deny. I got a bunch of action figures that are Star Wars. So
cool.
Is there anybody
we were nerding out.
we might be able to talk to that can give us a little bit more information?
La familia de Barea.
Ah, vale. He thinks that there's a family, Barea family, Ramon Barea. He may be able to maybe tell you something more about it.
Our original assumption was that the plane had landed at a small airport here in San Sebastian. The fact that it was on a beach, that kicks it up a notch. Why did he land on that beach? And who else could have been on that plane? Could it have been Hitler himself? That's what we have to find out.
Nah.
We've established there was a Nazi military compound, and 50 miles away in Misiones, there was a German community. This place was a Nazi hideout.
While the team continues to dig in San Sebastian, Spain, Bob and John discuss the South American leg of their investigation.
We have found the descendant of Adolf Hitler's leadership living there.
In Argentina, the team has uncovered evidence that Adela Goering, the grandniece of Hermann Goering, the commander of the German Air Force, and one of Hitler's closest associates, is living just 50 miles from the Nazi militarized complex in the jungles of Misiones.
Yeah, that's
really
I
great.
I was like, whoa, that's awesome. Like
Yeah.
they gave us a preview, but I think that's something that you can't argue with. Like, come on, what is she doing there?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, uh, Goring was the one who wanted to dethrone Adolf in the end. He was kind of like the traitor,
Wasn't
and
A little bit.
wasn't he also the one that in the event that Hitler died that he would take over?
yeah, what he wanted to do was behind the scenes. He was kind of like getting a group of people together. He's like, we're losing the war. We need to go forward. This guy's not capable, so I'm going to take over. And that completely, like, Hitler went into a meltdown and ordered for the SS to arrest Goring. And yeah, it was a shit show. But I completely think that, she's there. She's alive. She's obviously not some fake actress or whatever. And it just makes so much sense. So
But even before World War II, he was hailed as a hero in Germany. He took over the Flying Aces after the Red Baron got shut down. And as far as I know, he even had better results at the end. And
yeah.
wanted to continue fighting when they got the order, like, Kaiser stepped down. There's no more war, no more fights.
Well, one thing's for sure, even though a lot of these people had a very bad moral compass, a lot of them were good at some of the stuff that they were doing. Whether it was propaganda with Goebbels, whether it was, military tactics, whether it was public
Hey,
relations
buddy.
or administrative stuff. Hey,
Hey,
Dempsey.
Dempsey. No, I agree. I remember them talking about, like, at least in World War One, at least the fighter pilots, right? They were basically like they were the gentlemen. Like, they didn't try to kill each other. They just tried to shoot down the plane. And
No,
like,
Wookie, we haven't.
What's up, dude?
hey, Wookie.
Nope, still
Um,
looking.
like, and I guess he in part, was also one of those that they were just like basically modern romanticized knights. Like, they would follow a code, and that was, with the English, with the Americans, with the Germans, like they all of these fighter pilots, like they had basically the same code and respect for each other, and just
Okay, yeah, maybe in the beginning,
but
but
yeah,
then
no, World War II, totally different. Totally different. Like, that was no longer there.
yeah.
Well, yeah, it was because gosh, we were just talking about what's his name? He was in line to be second. Wasn't he even kind of at the time
Goring.
because yeah, it
No,
wasn't
yeah, Goring.
her yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't he kind of even though everything that was going on, he was kind of even afterwards, he was kind of considered because of his military service previously the long list of accolades, not just World War II. Wasn't he kind of still hailed as a little as a hero? One of the only like the only one
That's
after the
kind of what
fact?
Clifton just said, but also you have to understand a lot of the generals at that point, because Germany was taking massive losses. So if somebody you're losing your men, and you're coming to your Fuhrer and you're saying, like, we need to change up the strategy, and always being met with this, like, no, we're going to persevere. And I keep surrounding myself with yes men. And then it kind of flipped around to him being the traitor and him wanting to do what's again. I don't think he was a good guy. I don't never knew him personally, but I don't think he was a good guy at all for his participation in all of that Nazi stuff. But I can kind of see why he was labeled as a traitor, because he was a threat at that point, because he knew what he was talking about and he was capable. But yeah, so for his descendants to suddenly show up in South America and being factual opens up the question. We know Adolf Eichmann escaped. We know Joseph Mengele escaped. We know a whole bunch of other people in the inner circle escaped. And that's what always has that kind of like reasonable doubt when it comes to, did Hitler escape or not? Did some of the other folks around him escape? Because it's one thing looking at documents from West or East Germany, Soviet Union, America, England, whatever, and things can be altered. Things can be, to make the public, and this is going into conspiracy theory, which we will get to later, but here it does open up reasonable doubt. Could have happened. Anyway, rant over.
Yeah, no, Clifton, if you touched on that, my bad. I kind of meant after the fact. I didn't think I heard that part, but yeah. So Wade says you three are welcome whenever. Yeah, absolutely, man. If I can jump on, just always give me a little bit of a notice, and I'll try to. Um, no, this is not the last episode. This is episode number 3. I
Of
believe each
season
season.
two.
Of season
Season
2,
two.
I believe this season is extended, so it's not 8 episodes. I think it's like 9 or 10. I could be wrong. If I remember correctly, one of the seasons they extended it. So let's jump back in.
Grandniece of one of the most significant war criminals in the history of the world is in Misiones, where we have this militarized Nazi outpost.
Yeah,
We
a lot
really
of get
need
out
to
of
put this
jail free
together,
cards.
because Hermann Goring's grandniece is not just there by happenstance. If we can sit down and talk to the grandniece of Goering, we're in for some good information.
Who knows what she heard?
I think we're on the right track here, Bob.
Yep, let's do it.
And it's actually very interesting that she's open to talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like people who are a bit removed, and they're more reluctant to talk than she is. And she goes around
Well,
carrying the name.
she kind of explains it. Let's get to what she says. And it's horrible when things like this happen, where you're not really responsible for what your ancestors did, and you're still paying the price.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, that's especially for an old lady like her, just trying to live her life in peace. And
Well, it's a little bit kind of what's going on in today's world, where kids in our public school system are being taught that they should feel guilty over slavery, and it's like that's like blaming a little Japanese girl in Japan for Pearl Harbor. That's the biggest bunch of horse shit I've ever heard.
yeah.
They weren't there, they didn't do it, like they weren't even born. Like, it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And yes, unfortunately, people are awful, even on both sides. Like,
Right.
So
Oh, boosh.
yeah, at least you didn't get stuck in the subway door. Andy Pickles says the bad tactics weren't mustache man. The Italian military blundered, forced him to delay the Western push until winter. The thaw bogged down the push more than the snow had.
I mean, there's different ways of looking at it. I have heard that theory, but I think there was just a lot of things that came together that ultimately, after Stalingrad, like,
Yes.
yeah, that was the turning point on the Eastern Front.
It was. And also an incredible movie. If you've never seen the movie Stalingrad, it's very good.
Yeah.
I think
What, the Russian one or the American one?
I've seen the American one. I haven't seen the Russian one.
Well, you should watch the Russian one.
If you have a link to it, I'll watch it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Okay. Yeah, no, I thought it was I think it actually came out shortly after Saving Private Ryan, which I think Saving Private Ryan was a very good movie. I think anyway, Band of Brothers is incredible, stuff like that. I mean, these are legitimately good stories. So Dempsey says is they were cool with each other, Russia and Germany. Hell, they even split Poland. they initially they had a treaty, and it got broken, and that's pretty foolish on the Third Reich's part.
Yeah.
But even even in breaking that treaty, oh, they marched over so much territory. It's not even funny. It's almost insane even to this date to think about how they did that. I don't know. And again, I've said this on this channel. Like it's the Third Reich fascinates me because of how they came so close, so close to beating out for the atomic bomb.
Yep.
If Hitler had his hand on a button, it'd have been over. We'd be a very different world because that man would not have hesitated. London would be gone.
He basically tried it with the Wunderwaffe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he would have been able to do it with a single button. And there are no countermeasures in that time. We got countermeasures now.
Yeah.
But anyway, trust me, we'll get there to the atomic portion. What did he say? And it just says rude. Boosh.
He said it's not Job, it's Jobt mать твою, блядь. It's like kind of like exclamation when you're angry, like, oh fuck me, or like fuck you kind of thing. But it actually literally translates into fuck your mother. Fuck.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Russian slang is very a lot of the words come from Mongolian, from the years of Genghis Khan taking over the majority of the land.
Ironically, the English language still has the most words. And more people speak it on this planet than Americans speak other languages. Again, what are we doing over here?
Every time that we start talking to one of these generational Nazis, they've grown up in silence, practicing how to not talk about these things.
Think she's scared?
Yeah, they're all scared.
U.S. Army Special Forces Tim Kennedy and Coley, a local translator, arrive at the home of Adela Goering.
Holy.
I mean, okay, Tim, maybe don't like go around with a massive like rucksack and scare the old lady. Like put on, like, be more casual. What are you gonna go in there for with him? What do you have in your backpack?
It's got the equipment he needs, you know.
Мне нравится есть моллюсков. Okay, well that's good. Do you like shrimp? Do you like I mean, I'm allergic, but just to oysters.
Oh, I was gonna say you're allergic. I was gonna say you're allergic to shrimp, but you eat bugs.
I'm not allergic to shrimp.
Oh no, I know.
Dempsey asked something in Russian.
Yeah, no, I saw that.
Yeah.
Also at the same time, I watched the pub the other night, and ew, with the suckers, like, dude made a great point. Like, you have to sit there and suck on that thing till the bug exposes itself. It's not like you're popping it in your mouth and it's just crunching. It's over. Ugh. Ugh, that's nasty. Anna asked, she's like, "Am I the only one that eats bugs?" And everybody's like, "Yes."
Father Jack, hello.
Hey, Jack. Speak.
Hi.
What's up, Jack? Clipping that. Why? About eating bugs? I don't eat the bugs. I eat the sea bugs. I don't eat the land bugs. I really do. I do enjoy me some shrimp. Anyway, I must be. Yeah, I haven't eaten lunch yet, so I'm kind of hungry. Sorry. We do this every time. We start talking about food and it goes off the rails.
This just got real.
Permiso.
Sí, sí, adelante, adelante.
Salmon.
Smoked.
Smoked.
Could you tell me a little bit about your family, like how they came to?
A little bit of lemon on there. Stop. Gypsy says, Man, I do enjoy hearing females speak Russian. Well, it sounds much nicer than men speaking it. It's kind of like Arabic too, and German. Like women just do it better. Like when guys do it, we sound angry.
Clifton,
Höre ich mich denn so
your
schlimm
thoughts
an?
on that?
Höre ich mich denn so schlimm an, wenn ich Deutsch rede? Also ich weiß nicht. Ich glaube nicht, dass es so schlimm ist, oder? Ich höre mich doch jetzt halt nicht fürchterlich,
That
fürchterlich an, oder?
sounds completely
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it sound like I was angry?
I'm
Right.
weirdly turned on. I'm
Wow.
joking.
Okay.
I'm joking. I knew I could mess with you. Yes, that sounded very nice, Clifton. Sounded very nice.
Oh,
Boosh says I can't send Anna messages on Twitter. That's because Anna has deactivated her Twitter.
I'm undercover.
She's undercover.
I have made myself go away from somewhere so I can do other things without.
Yeah.
having
No,
to-
Boosh, she did not block you. You were not blocked.
No, I have not blocked anyone. I'm just not on there for now because I have a mission.
She's incognito.
Yeah, but if you got Discord, then down there.
It's literally the same thing Anna's Gameland.
Yeah.
So
Discord. Which
And
I
she'll
literally don't even reply to anyone because my Discord notifications don't work. And I do.
no, I know, especially
that-
when you told me to use Discord, and I was like, I responded on Discord. Come on, that was funny.
No, I'm trying to be on there. And it's just like I'm always like either like in the submarine or on the ship or flying the plane, with my goggles, and I can't hear or see shit.
Boosh says Ryan, everyone is roboting.
Oh, really?
Really?
I got the stream up here, and it seems to be clear.
I can hear you.
So, oh no, agreed. Roboting for me a bit too. Uh-oh. We're having a lot of wind where I'm at right now. It's been very windy. It could be messy. Oh, he says no. Jack said
No,
him
because
too.
Jack says. You
Hold
don't
on,
have
I'm
any wind. I mean, you might do have wind, but
Mm.
not like in the UK. It's really sunny.
Okay,
Maybe try refreshing. I don't know, because I just checked over on my tab. I didn't see it roboting.
Yeah. Should be fine. Sorry if it is. It's Ryan's fault.
It would technically be my fault since I'm the one who's broadcasting it. Hopefully that fixed. Also, shout out to everybody who's watching. We're gonna get back to this thing. It's fine now. It was only a little bit. Yeah, we've been having a pretty windy weekend. No storms, but just a lot of wind. It's very strange. It's coming off the Book Cliffs. So, yeah.
To Argentina?
El papá de mi papá, que llegaba a ser mi abuelo, ese de Alemania se fue a la Argentina. Mi papá a los 14
My father was 14 years old.
años.
Walking up to your property, I couldn't help but notice the swastika that was carved deeply into that tree. What's the story to that?
Y los chicos,
She says it's the kids.
si acá se juntan
There's 15 or 16 of them that gather here at night.
15, 16 de noche y están ahí.
Sometimes she'd have words with the kids, and in exchange for those words, they left a swastika carved out on the tree because of her maiden name. They try and keep a very low profile. She used to visit her doctor under her married name, but one time the doctor, who was Jewish, saw her maiden name, and he refused to keep seeing her.
Because of that name, Adele Goering is still associated, whether she likes it or not, with being a Nazi. Honestly, I felt kind of sorry for her. She's scared of reprisals for the things that her family did. But we have to find out the truth.
Do you have any
Hashtag stop Asian hate.
But yeah, no, this is actually totally sad. Like a bunch of kids carving swastikas and stuff in trees, and just yeah.
Well, and
Really
let's call a spade a spade. Kids are stupid. So, I
Yeah.
mean, is it correct? No. Are what university children doing today on my continent? No. But kids are stupid. And they're ideologically captured easily. So,
Yeah, but I put that on the parents.
oh, I do too. I do too. Because as a kid there, I made some stupid decisions, but I knew there were things that I was not to do. Not smoke, not do drugs, because quite frankly, um my mom told me, she's like, I brought you into this world. She's like, if you ever smoke, I'm gonna rip your lungs out. I was like, what? You're gonna what? And so no, and yeah, no, drugs, forget about it. Like,
I have a question.
shoot.
How many people in the I know back then it was a different society, especially in the 40s, 50s, 60s, even 70s. It's only like by the end of like the 70s, even the 80s, where like it was fashionable to do it. But how many people in the military today that you know of, or a trend that you know of, actually do smoke? Because it is a very stressful thing, so to cope with the anxiety.
There are a lot less people smoking in today's world than there used to be. That being said, unfortunately, in the military, if you smoked, you got like an extra break, and it was kind of crap. So it was, it's like, oh, I'm gonna go take a smoke break, and the NCO, the sergeant, he wouldn't care, and you'd be able to go smoke for like 5, 10 minutes. But if you didn't smoke, you had to keep working. You had to keep doing stuff, and it was kind of an incentive. And I know somebody who's like, "Man, I'm gonna start smoking just so I can take more breaks." It's like, I wouldn't do that.
Right.
I mean, I wasn't in the military, but I did that when I was working in a hotel. The only way to get a break at the hotel was if you smoked. Like there was no other breaks to be had.
Mhm.
If you smoked,
Right.
you got about 5 to 10 minutes every hour.
Yeah, Andy says, "Yeah, my uncle's rations during World War II included cigarettes." Yep, MC. I've heard a ton of people say that. Yep, it's very true.
I
Yeah.
think it's also like and not to compare it obviously to people in the trenches, but it's a way to get your mind off. You're sitting in this little circle and you're like talking about like your girl back home, and just, like having that little moment away from your surroundings. Like we had that, for instance, like what are people always associating like smoking with, like journalists? You always see them like having like a break, like quickly, let's go and film this, come on, let's do this. And it's it's a really bad habit, but it puts you into a situation where you can get intel from people, and other people need you to comfort them, which you cannot do in the newsroom. So that's your break away from it. It's not like you can go to the pub, because you're not going to be drinking on the job. So the only thing you can do, you're not going to be standing there having smoothies and lattes. No. That's what you do. Like every 2 or 3 hours, you go by the garbage cans outside of the building, and you're standing there like a bunch of idiots, and you're just like, yeah, did you hear what this guy said? Did you hear and what are we going to do about this story? It was just part of the culture.
Are you giving a little insight into your journalistic days?
Yeah. And it's not just me. I mean, people back in the 70s used to like open up their desk drawer and they'd have like liquor and smoke cigarettes. I don't know how you do that, like having a cigarette and be able to like use the typewriter with all the like smoke going in your eye, and you have to like perfectly type out everything. No.
I mean, not with a cigarette, but I've done it with the pipe and with cigars, where I I pour myself a glass of whiskey, I have a cigar, and I'm writing away at a book or a story or something.
I'm very happy for you. I really am. But the smell of cigars is disgusting. I hate it. Can't stand it.
I've had a few cigars in my day for celebratory reasons, like a wedding or something like that. It's very, very, very rare. I don't like smoking really anything in general, but
I mean, I usually like I haven't had a cigar in quite a while. But I
Please.
usually just had it to like just take that time of the day where I absolutely just it's for me, just turn everything
Yeah.
else off really. Yeah, don't worry about what's going on in the world. Don't worry about, just take a break and yeah. So I mean, I'm not saying smoking is not good for your health. It does
Neither
calm you
is
down.
vaping. Vaping is bad too.
yep.
All of it
Oh,
is bad.
babe.
But Boost, yes, those were the days when journalists actually did journalistic work.
Hmm.
Was there always editorial kind of guidelines? Yes, of course, especially if it's a privately owned company and not even public, like the BBC still has an agenda. But if you're a journalist and you do something, like, it was just a different time. Now it's all just like anybody can be a journalist, a YouTuber, a vlogger, blogger, talk about things. It's a dead profession, and it makes me think like why did I spend 5 years of my life, and you know why? Because I actually learned other things. History was a big part of it for 5 years, really going deep into studying things like we're talking about today, which is where I get the knowledge from. Do I prepare before the streams? Sometimes. Most of the time, like I get like a fact pops into my head and I'm like, I remember this from what I was taught at uni.
Yeah. Almost every stream I have this one thing. Like we talk about U-boats every time, and this one story pops in my head over and over again, but I haven't brought it up really because the story is really cool. Like I could say, yeah, Americans did some badassery and just move on. But I definitely wanted to look it up, and if we have some time later, I might
Sure.
bring it up because I did look into it a little bit to get some facts straight, and it's interesting.
Oh, all I have to say is America. Fuck yeah.
Some badassery.
Coming to save the motherfucking day. That's such.
Yeah.
If you know, you know. That's all I'll say about that.
Memory of any other German families that had Nazi connections?
Love it knows. Love it
Y
knows.
sí, había
Good movie.
mucha gente alemana. Porque mi papá estaba en el centro y alrededor todo
Morka. That's right.
de Alemania.
There were families that were connected to the former Nazi regime. And also, they were receiving people who were escaping from Germany.
Do you remember any things from your childhood, if your father or you knew anyone that was associated with any high-level Nazis?
Y bueno, mi papá vino del pueblo y vino en casa y dijo a mi mamá,
And said to my mother, we've got a
ahora
problem.
estamos mal, la policía y la gente.
The police and the townspeople are out looking for Hitler in the
Están
fields.
buscando a Hitler allá por las chacras.
The whole town was talking about it. They're here looking for Hitler.
Unbelievable.
But they don't
All right.
actually look for the proof that, because I don't remember them like looking. Did the town make any records of trying to look for Hitler in the fields? Like, why did they come to the conclusion that Hitler was maybe there in that town?
I don't really understand your question. What would
Yeah,
the town be doing if a whole bunch of really rich people come in and are like, hush hush, and we pay you off? and it's only the generation of kids who have seen something. Like nobody's gonna talk.
I didn't necessarily take it as they were legitimately looking for Hitler in the fields. It kind of came off like, to me, the way it was just described, that they were trying to find legitimate Nazis.
Oh, okay.
But he phrased it like, because there's this paranoia of looking for Hitler in the fields. That's how it came off to me. I could be wrong.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
That could, yeah. That's
so
basically.
Right, Andy? They're like, yo, 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 he's right there. Everybody catch him. Like, no.
Well,
No.
but I mean, to me, that yeah, I mean, to me, that kind of sounded like that's exactly what they were doing. Like, here, Hitler, 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 come here. Where are you? Come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kitty, kitty, kitty. No, don't. No, I'm not. No, you're not. Go away.
what did you think was going to happen? Oh, wow, she muted. Wow. Must be that serious, huh? Come on, Anna.
Kitty
You
come,
can show the kitty.
kitty come to attack.
Yeah. So yeah, it just, I mean, it could be legit, maybe that the people heard something. I mean, but excuse me. Oh man, the caffeine isn't working.
How much room he really would have had.
In San Sebastian, Spain, James Holland and Mike Simpson are investigating a series of declassified files that report that Leon de Grelle, a close associate of Adolf Hitler, was seen by the Fuhrer's side in Denmark before flying to this remote Spanish town.
They're kidding.
Aw.
Hello, everyone.
Look at that face.
He's not happy.
Aw. Well, I mean, he and dog meat were raining down in Germany earlier, so.
Raining or riding?
Hell is raining? That thing? How
Raining.
did I become a verb?
No.
Andy says, I laugh when I see a meme looking for someone hiding and they sing, Sweet Caroline. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, shit.
Yeah, you can't sing that anymore.
Why?
It's sexist.
It
Been
is?
banned. Yeah, it's been banned in England.
Why?
Because some of the words certain people who are butthurt and are victimizing themselves think that the lyrics are about the R word and misogyny and all this other shit.
I want to move to the moon.
To the dark side?
Yes.
Where they have that huge metal base?
Yes.
The Nazi one?
Mm-hmm. They went to Antarctica first, so it's plausible. Obviously we're kidding. Yeah. That's the first thing when she started talking about being canceled. I was like, yeah, baby, it's cold. Baby, it's cold. That's so stupid. Or this will always mean okay.
Yeah.
Also, at the same time, that's kind of how I've always counted 1, 2, 3. I don't know why, but it's like, so yeah. If you see me hold up 3, like people are like, yeah, okay, symbol.
Wow. And I thought I was weird. I start counting 1, 2, 3.
That's pretty normal. I think I've seen people do that. Yeah, no, I've always done 1, 2, 3. All right, love it. Thank you for stopping by. Says I'm gonna head out, Anna. I'll look you up on Discord.
Take care.
Yeah, and or like send one of the dudes like not gonna give you my phone number here. No, I actually have your phone number, so I'll message you. Take care.
Yeah.
At the same time, WAB hit number 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a sad day for history.
Well,
I would not fancy coming to land on this beach, I'll tell you.
They arrive at La Concha Beach, where an eyewitness claims DeGrelle landed in May 1945.
Thank you,
The
love it.
first
You
thing that I
too.
thought of when I looked at the bay
Much love to you and the
is
family.
how small it was from side to side and how difficult it would be, especially with the islands, to navigate an aircraft in here. That's what jumped out at me right away.
Hello.
Senor Ramon.
Nice to meet
mucho
you.
gusto.
The team makes contact with Ramon Barea, whose father was a longtime resident of San Sebastian.
Well, Anna, if you wanted to see somebody with their shirt off, I found a guy for you. Hold on. Let me get back to it. There's a nice man right here with his shirt off. He doesn't look like
Contact
Tim, but
with
you know.
Ramon Barea, whose father was a longtime resident
What
of
are
San
you
Sebastian.
talking about?
It's
No,
supposed
it's not about the fact that somebody has their shirt off. It's about it being Tim Kennedy. It's two different concepts. You can look at some people, and I think this is one thing that people need to understand. Just because somebody looks aesthetically pleasing doesn't mean it's attractive. It's the other qualities that make a person attractive. That guy is not attractive at all. He's got a beer belly. I don't like him. Tim Kennedy does it. But he's also a nerd, and he's doing some cool stuff. So
Tim Kennedy's
All right,
a nerd?
Chad, who's ready to do some exercise?
yes, everybody.
You should always do exercise. Bush says
Yes.
nudity. Yay. Yes. Wait, who are you? I'm assuming it's one of us guys because one of us guys was just talking. So maybe he's talking
He's doing sit-ups right now.
doing sit-ups right now. Throw a little jump. He says, "No, I'm not." Throw a little jumping jacks in there too. It's good for burning off the belly fat. Yeah, you can do all the sit-ups you want, but you gotta cut that diet. I found out that intermittent fasting is very nice during the middle of the day. Keeps you from feeling lethargic. So,
I don't know what that is, and I don't care.
what intermittent fasting or lethargic?
No, as long as that makes you feel better, but like I just don't like. I cooked a whole meal today. Clifton knows about it, and I was so happy because it like took me to get the ingredients together, and I was like a magician. I'm like in Harry Potter being the alchemist. Like do this, do that, do like experiment, and like that makes me happy. Not just like eating like a burger.
What's wrong with a burger?
Nothing, but sometimes you just want to experiment and create something of your own,
What
which
did
is
you
new.
make?
Oh, I made some things. I'll show you later.
Okay.
My father, when he
No, the reason I was talking about that is because I don't like to eat lunch because I usually feel sluggish. Even if I eat like chicken and vegetables, I still feel a little sluggish because you just ate. Like so, it's.
Yeah.
I'll have like breakfast. I'll have something small for breakfast, and then I won't eat until like the end of the day. And
Good for you, Boosh. I think more people should cook, especially men.
Absolutely. Cooking's it's much better. Also, don't be lazy. Don't do those meal kit things where they come to your front door. I hate that. Like, bro, go to the store. Do the work.
Yeah, but some people live in places where they don't have those ingredients.
Okay, well that's slightly different.
Yeah.
Do you do it?
What?
No, I don't. I have everything.
okay.
Oh, no, but like I know like people do live in like really isolated places, and for them to go and like get like a month's worth of or like you can't just go out your front door and it's like 200 feet and you have a massive supermarket, and then you have an actual market or butchers because everything's so like a town, which is. But other people don't have that privilege, so they have to buy frozen stuff.
Yep.
Frozen is always better than canned because canned is very, very processed. And yes, way too much of sodium.
Yeah.
Look, sodium is so bad for you. If you want to wonder why the Western world has high blood pressure galore, sodium. Way too much of it.
Yeah.
So always look at the sodium content. It's a big one. People look at the calories, like, oh, it's only like 60 calories for this can, and then sodium's like 680, and you're like, that'll kill a horse.
And it's always also important to have like all of your like 5 a day is what we call it in the UK. So you have your like protein, whether it's your meat or your fish, which is like omega-3. You have your salad as a garnish on the side, which is your, vitamins, as we say, or vitamins. You have your mashed potato or baked potato or little baby potatoes with some salt. So you're getting salt in there. And then you have something like shiitake mushrooms.
And yes,
Like,
Andy is not wrong on this one. It's not as high as can, but it is still pretty high. Fresh is always the way to go.
yeah.
Like, I think I like fresh stuff. So, but I'm a weirdo that I've been chopping up an onion before, and I just take a piece of it and I eat it, and it's kind of spicy. I kind of like it. So I've done that with peppers too. You cut up a green pepper and you just eat part of it fresh. Anyway, or tomatoes. Oh, tomatoes are so good. Sorry. All right, you know what?
Was 23. He lived
I'm not stoned, I
there.
promise.
8 May 1945, around 6:30 in the morning, hearing a big noise. He saw the crash.
Just rewind there a second. What exactly did he see?
The aircraft of Leon de Grelle crashed in the middle of the bay. Just this point. I have some pictures to show you.
Really?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Whoa, look how bad, look at the damage on that, Mike. You can see that one wing's been ripped off. One of the engines has come off that ripped off wing. It's been flipped completely upside down. The whole back of the fuselage of the plane has broken. And really, you look at that, and it just seems a miracle that anyone could have survived.
That's the actual. So this is one thing that like really solidified it for me is like you have, and I mean this is imposed on the current day photo of San Sebastian in that beach, but like that plane was there, it landed, and it got destroyed because it couldn't land properly. So how many other planes were out there trying to do the same thing apart from the Anna, what's her name? Anna, the one who
Hannah Reich.
Yeah, Hannah Reich. Like there must have been at least a number of other ones trying to escape.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool how they superimpose it, but it also gives you kind of the scale that landing something this size and planes need an approach vector. So one of the reasons it probably got torn up so bad, first off, planes really aren't designed to land in the water, and two, they probably had to nose in pretty hard, and that's why the front of the airplane is so torn up.
You muted yourself.
No, it's been doing that weird thing again where it like StreamYards
Oh.
for some reason shuts off my microphone. I don't know why. It started just yesterday. I don't know why, but
Hmm.
yeah, I
Yeah,
do.
it's happened to me before. Yeah. Yeah, so with that whole thing, like that to me was I don't think that photograph was somehow faked. There's no point in doing it. It happened. Again, we know people escaped. People were there, found to be there, brought to trial by Mossad in Israel. CIA, Russian intelligence were looking for people, had like definitive proof. So this is real stuff. This isn't conspiracy theory. This is real facts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one's a lot heavier on kind of not just the circumstantial proof, but showing kind of legitimate stuff like this.
The crew was 5 people, the pilot, the radio operator, the navigator, and the lieutenant, and Leon de Grelle. All survived.
In the final days of the war, Hitler was in very, very poor health. Given the evidence that we've seen of the crash, had he been on that aircraft, he would not have survived. had he been on that aircraft, which we think now he was not. So when DeGrelle was done recuperating, where did he stay?
Franco gave to him the new identity. The most popular newspaper of San Sebastian, the day after, nothing.
Even though everyone in town knew about the crash, if I were in London or were in New York and I was looking at the newswire, I would have no knowledge of it whatsoever.
Nothing.
How was that possible?
Because San Sebastian was a satellite of the Third Reich, so everything was
all set up.
Yeah, set up. That hill, Igeldo, on the top you can see a castle. Just behind this castle there is a massive communication building.
That's where we need to go then.
From the initial reports and after talking to our first witness, it appeared that San Sebastian might simply be a random crash site. But after talking to the second witness and learning a little bit more about the infrastructure, about the locals, and about the area, it appears that this is an ideal destination. And my gut tells me, even though Adolf Hitler was not on that aircraft, that this could be where Hitler wanted to go all along. With the fog, we almost could have missed it.
Mike and James arrive at the rumored Nazi communication building just 5 miles from the beach where Leon DeGrelle crash landed.
Hola, Pablo. ¿Cómo estamos?
With the help of Pablo, a local translator, they make contact with Margarita Martin, the current director of the site.
Esto era un caserío del siglo XIX y la administración compró la casa en 1905 y construyó la torre porque ya se había decidido hacer el observatorio meteorológico aquí.
Okay, so she says this still functions as it did 100 years ago, exactly the same.
Funciona igual que hace 100 años, igual.
Wow. This is absolutely amazing.
Esto es el anemocinemógrafo.
¿En qué año es este?
En 1927.
German manufacturer.
And still working.
Still here and still working.
Por los alemanes, este edificio fue en
Oh yeah, back then they made stuff to last.
Boosh says we seem to be having a few internet problems. It did look a little laggy when I transitioned.
Is there, like you said, something wrong with the weather or something? There's a storm?
Yeah,
Windy?
we're having like windstorms. We have
Right.
since like Friday. So that's probably it. He says we're back. All
Oh,
right.
that's good.
Yeah. Germans took over and militarized this building.
Right from the start of World War II, there were German troops here.
En la terraza, estos soldados pasaron de hacer la vigilancia aquí.
What equipment?
They would go on the roof and do surveillance.
Of the communications equipment.
Aquí estaba la radio costera. El equipo de transmisiones llegaba hasta Canadá.
Very long distance.
I'm gonna go up.
Okay.
While James investigates the ground floor of the facility, Mike heads to the roof to check out the radio tower.
It's an incredible view from up here. Wow. If I were planning on bringing the Führer here, a radio antenna that is on the hilltop that overlooks the Bay of San Sebastian would be ideal for this. In a matter of moments, by communicating to the radio telegraph station downstairs, that information would have been sent to any U-boat or plane. Piece of cake.
Boosh, quite a few.
So what are all these?
Well, actually, one thing today is it's Russian Easter, Russian Orthodox and Greek Easter. So the calendars did not align this year. Very big divide between Russian Easter is pretty much as means to me as much as going to school, a Catholic school, Easter, but yeah, today's Russian Easter, so happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
He has risen.
Hmm?
He has risen.
Half a second, because I was just thinking about the fact that the governor
No,
of our state.
right? Not he, not the other, not the H man. The J man has risen.
No, I know. I was just thinking about the fact that the governor of my state said Happy Easter, and I was like, what? So, yeah, no, it makes sense now.
Yeah.
I was like, what Easter is it?
It's like we talked with Clifton about it a little bit. Like you have in the West when it comes to Easter a very commercial thing that it becomes. You know, like buying the chocolate eggs and like having people come together as families and having dinners or meals or lunches or getting like pissed drunk because it's a bank holiday. You don't need to work for 3 days. And then, like, in Russia, it's more of a spiritual thing. So you have to go to you can sit down, like, for a cup of tea with your grandma or your mom and have, like, basically a cake with icing and some Easter eggs and some pascha, which is an Israeli Jewish thing, and, like, you just have that, but you don't need to go to church. It's not super it's not turned into some commercial holiday, which is really important, I think, when it comes to religion.
Basically any holiday in the West.
Yeah.
Biggest commercialized holiday in the West, I would Valentine's Day.
No way, Christmas.
Valentine's Day was actually infamously made up by basically you know, companies to sell stuff.
Well, now we don't even have a Christian prime minister. We don't even have a Christian mayor. Just, yeah. It's
Governor's
weird.
gay.
Mm.
He's a big old homo.
Yeah, but again, like I think going back to why we're doing this is you need to go back to history to understand the trends and how things might have escalated so you can have an idea of like if somebody is saying something, like really form your own opinion. Like go and do the research because these people are really good at brainwashing. And landing a plane in Spain when there's no rain. I don't know why I'm rhyming right now. But
Oh, either.
it happened. The plane got broke. Therefore, you know, we are not woke.
The plane lands in the rain in Spain.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was raining, but yeah. All right, so Anna's rhyming is done.
I apologize.
Sent all these books about how to work in technology. In German way, you know? Wow. Look at this.
Estos son del 38.
1938.
Sí. El año 43.
Where did Margarita find all this?
She found them upstairs, hidden behind a wall.
Behind a wall?
Behind a wall. They had some problems with the rain, so yeah, and they had to make some repairs. And she found this secret compartment.
Why were they all being kept there secret?
Para ocultar la colaboración, claro.
To hide the collaboration with the German, obviously.
It was fascinating to see all this stuff. The fact that this was all behind a false wall poses the question, why? What are they trying to hide? Do we know if there were ever any visitors coming here?
Esto es el álbum con las firmas.
In this visitor's book, we can see that this observatory received many visits from 1928 up to 1937. And after this, we don't have anything else. Everything is in white.
Blanco.
Those blank pages, they hold a secret, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
As we're discovering, San Sebastian is the major hub for the Nazi rat lines for those trying to flee to safety. We know that Leon de Grelle got here and was spirited away. The tantalizing prospect is who else came here in the ruins of the road.
We have
Downtown Los Angeles. Before there was so much homelessness. I think I'm still getting a little bit of stuttering. Maybe I might turn my camera off until it clears up and see if that helps. And ironically, I didn't realize it. We're only streaming in 720 and not 1080. It's probably a good thing, or it'd be a massive mess. Be bigger signal. So yeah, let me see if that helps. Maybe turn my camera off. I know you won't be able to see my awesome face.
Okay, I'll turn my off too.
You don't leave Clifton by himself.
Do it, Clifton. I dare you. There we go.
Anna, where do you get these thumbnails? Is you still using Chat GPT for that?
No, it's a thing called Da Vinci, which is like an AI generating like stuff thing.
Yeah, because I got to be honest, like your things are pretty spot on. Do you like input like a picture of you, and that's why it
Yeah,
looks
you
so
have to
close?
put it. Yeah, you can do that. You don't have to, but you can.
Okay. Clifton, you can turn your camera off if you want. You don't have to be on screen.
I know.
He says, but I'm so pretty. Boucher's California had 12% homelessness until they stopped taking census and reporting numbers. But video, yeah, that's true. He says, I love generating stuff. I do too. And you know what? I'm just not smart owned, man. I don't even know where we're going with that.
И сердце бьется в упоении, и для него воскресли вновь, и божество, и вдохновение, и жизнь, и слезы, и любовь. Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
It's about Jesus.
Oh, okay. Nice, Dempsey.
They crashed Nazi airplane in San Sebastian. This is evidence. This was an exfil route.
Bob and John review the findings from Spain, where the team has uncovered evidence that Leon de Grelle crash-landed in San Sebastian in May 1945, after being spotted by Hitler's side days earlier, as reported in declassified Nuremberg testimony.
De Grelle had a
Bush
serious
needs some cold
aircraft
water,
accident.
apparently.
One thing's for sure, Hitler was not on this aircraft. As far as
Yeah, I actually wanted to get a close-up of that. Because this is the closest photo that they show of how messed up the plane looks. It is mangled, man.
had a serious aircraft accident. One thing's for sure, Hitler was not on this aircraft.
That's
as far as
mangled.
I'm concerned, the investigation.
It's lucky that the 5 people aboard actually survived. How mangled that thing looks.
Relative to whether or not Adolf Hitler flew with Leon de Grelle out of Denmark to San Sebastian, we can put that theory to bed.
Yeah.
But look what Franco did. He took him in, he gives him a Spanish identity, and allows de Grelle to continue to live there.
Franco felt that he should be hiding Nazis, and he didn't.
And it's kind of interesting that many high-ranking members went to Argentina and they got new identities and just disappeared into the woodwork. Seems to be a recurring thing. Just change your name, we'll hide you, whatever. Give you a new life. You know, go work in a Mercedes factory. Joseph Mengele.
Hey, Dempsey, that's what I would say about myself. So we don't know. Maybe I am Dempsey, and Dempsey is me.
You can tell I'm not Anna because she's way smarter than I am. I think Clifton and Anna are definitely smarter than I am. So why is Clifton hiding?
No reason. I'll be back.
I think we're all very smart, actually.
I got some pretty good common sense. I know a lot about common sense. I kind of equate to street smarts. But if you ask me to do a physics problem, I'm gonna look at you like.
Oh no, Clifton! Oh my god!
What? You don't like me smiling?
Clifton, I gotta be honest, man. You got nicer skin than he does. He looks like he got some of them city miles on him.
I don't even know what to say to that. Earlier, you were attracted to me. Now you.
He's Scottish in Scotland. You don't get
Well,
moisturizer.
he is married to Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and she's kind of a woke weirdo, so she's probably aged him tenfold.
And he had like the perfect wife, but I'm not gonna get into their personal, and it has nothing to do with this. But yeah, good luck to him because I ain't watching Obi-Wan Kenobi. I watched the TV show, and I was just like, "What am I watching?"
Clifton is Ethan Hawke.
He looks nothing like Ethan Hawke.
Come on, that's pretty funny. He's got those adrenochrome lines. Yeah.
I love it how boys comment on girls and boys' looks.
We do. We're
But
just
girls usually in our sphere only do it towards boys.
Yeah, but see, Ryan does it to me, and that's making me feel. I don't know. I need to take a shower.
Samuel and I used to do it to each other too. That sounds terrible.
Yeah,
that said it like that.
Nope.
No, we used to like comment. Never mind. It's too late.
I can't. No.
Anna's like, and here comes the. Wow, true Anna. Ryan is always like, nice dick, bro. Yes, and I purposely trailed off because
he clearly
it's supposed to be a family show.
No doubt about that. If Hitler showed up, and he would have covered up right and left. Maybe de Grelle may have been simply saying, let's see if we can get an airplane to San Sebastian, if we can get through Allied air cover.
It could be that de Grelle was making a dry run for Adolf Hitler, and Hitler may have used that same route at a later date.
San Sebastian is a hotbed of Nazi activity. War criminals are fleeing there.
And they had access to worldwide communication. It does raise the possibility that this could have been a destination point for Adolf Hitler. The other team has been able to interview Adela Goering in Misiones, Argentina.
Bob and John shift their focus to the South American leg of their investigation, where they discovered a relative of Hermann Goering, commander of the Nazi Air Force, living in Misiones, Argentina.
What she does remember is being told many years ago that people were in the area. They were looking for Adolf Hitler in and around Misiones.
It's amazing. A couple miles from the Nazi compound in Misiones, there was a hunt for Hitler, an active hunt for Hitler. I think that's a huge clue.
Okay, so from the way they just said that, apparently my interpretation is incorrect. The townspeople and the police were legitimately beating the bushes looking for Adolf Hitler. They're talking about Clifton being Ethan Hawke. I thought they were talking about the comment above that, and I was like, look, I'm not. Yeah, it's the.
I don't know the Ethan Hawke. I don't see that one at all.
Yeah.
So you don't have to. Oh, okay. Well, appreciate you stopping by, man. Yeah, we're got like 15-ish minutes left, so yeah, it'll probably take us like another 45, maybe not 45, but like 30. So,
take care, man.
Thank you for stopping by. You're awesome.
Yes. Yeah, we appreciate you, Boosh. Seriously.
Justifies us to continue the mission in this region.
And everyone else.
The evidence.
Yes, and everyone else, but nobody else says that they were going to be leaving soon. I appreciate everybody in the chat always.
Oh wait, I just got a message from Dermy. What?
Tell him to fuck off. Dermy's actually he's on Roundtable right now. Ooh, he best be getting off his phone. He's still on Roundtable. They usually go for like an hour 15, hour 20. No, he is on Roundtable. I saw it in the Ballbusters chat. I was gonna give him a hard time, be like, "Oh, why are you bringing that fucker on?" But no, Dermy is a good guy. I love Dermy. Seriously, I give him a hard time, but he's been an awesome friend. He really is. A lot of people don't know that Dermy and I've talked behind the scenes about stuff, just so, he's a really good dude. And I saw him on I saw him on, what was it, the Geeks and Gamer, was it a Geeks and Gamers thing that they uploaded about the meetup in Vegas? Dermy's tall guy. Dermy's tall guy. He's definitely him and I give each other a hard time, and I'm like about who's taller or whatever, because
Yeah.
but no, Dermy's tall guy. And but he's kind of a big goober. Yeah, he's just a dork. I'm not his speed. Let's just say that. Like, Bush, you gotta stop. Oh man. It reminds me of being in the military. There was a guy who was let's just say he could have been in porn. He could have been in the prawn. And everybody was kind of shocked, and they're just like, "Whoa, what the?" Because in basic training, you had to shower together. There was no option. There's literally no option. So, but anyway, yeah. Let's get back. You stop talking about wieners. Look, Misiones.
It's quiet. Yeah, not a lot of people.
Investigative journalist Gerard Williams and his translator Rune make their way through Santo
Rune.
Pipo in Misiones province.
So let's see what he's got. Hey.
Hola.
Hola.
A local contact and journalist, Enrique Medina, has been digging through archives for the team to try to uncover evidence of hidden Nazi activities in the area.
Has he found anything out?
Pues siguiéndolo y bueno, también.
It was a little complicated to get this information. It's just easier to read it than showing it to avoid possibly getting
Sacando algunos datos,
you know,
también la gente local
goofed
un
on.
poquito complicado, porque la gente
Because people don't talk much around here.
en este lugar.
He found an article really important here. He said, can we see it?
Sí.
Yeah, no, he has it here, right? Yeah.
Este es el artículo.
Okay, it's written like 20 years ago, and it talks about a guy, Sacher, and he worked for a major Nazi, close to Hitler.
Bush, that was very descriptive, sir.
It says,
In a circle.
yes, exactly, in the inner circle of Hitler, yeah.
A major Nazi here in Misiones.
Exactamente, aquí en Misiones.
I don't know. He
this man
sounds too enthusiastic to me.
The gentleman on the video or Bush?
Both. No, but no, Boosh, not you. The guy in the video is like, yeah, I got somebody, like, he said this, like, come on, no.
He sounds very eager, like a rat from the street, because again, snitches, it's one of those things that
Okay, I wouldn't call him a snitch. It's been like over
gross snitching a little bit if nobody talks about it.
Yeah, but yeah, okay, you're right.
Just saying. But he also kind of reminds me of that guy that comes up. He's like, hey, bro, I got the good stuff. You know what I'm saying? I got that stuff you want. Look what you got right here. Like, oh, you want some of this, a little bit of this, a little bit. He also kind of sounds, a little over enthusiastic, kind of like a drug dealer trying to make a sale on the streets.
I wouldn't know.
He's not a
Me either. Is it really snitching if you're turning in Hitler? It is to really bad people who will do really bad things to you to protect that secret.
Yeah.
Are you eating?
What?
Yeah.
What are you eating?
Just the remains of my meal.
Oh, I was like the remains of what?
No,
like, times are hard in the UK. I found this on the side of the road. There's a raccoon.
You know what?
What?
I'm gonna mute myself.
And It was just never mind. Look, it's just me. Not anymore.
Alive, the guy, but the son of him is just living up here actually. ¿Dónde está? ¿Dónde queda
Bueno,
ese?
queda acá justamente a un par de cuadras nada más.
We just 2 blocks up here off the route.
Let's go find out what this guy knows.
Yeah. Should be the house here.
Excuse me, I'm looking for Senor Sacher, Emilio Sacher. Ah,
That's
hi, nice to meet you.
Estamos investigando como un poquito en la provincia de Misiones.
About the presence of German Nazis here. Your family, are they from Misiones?
Mi papá era de Alemania.
Ah, his father was from Germany.
And when did he arrive?
Él se vino con 15 años de Alemania.
He arrived here in 1940.
Would it be possible? Do you have some time? There are many questions I'd like to ask you.
Vamos adentro, sí.
Sí, okay, podemos.
Thank you very much. What was your father's name?
Guillermo Carlos Sacher.
Was his father a National Socialist? Did he like the Nazis?
Sí, era nazi también.
Yeah, he was also
He was Nazi too.
Also Nazi.
Yes. He always told him that he was a part of the Hitler Youth.
Emilio, did your father mention any names of Nazis that he worked with or knew in the area?
Sí. Alemán.
There was another guy as well with the name Edmundo. He was an old parachute soldier.
Your father, did he ever mention any senior Nazi that he may have met?
Yo lo que muchas cosas que escuché de Bormann, de eso.
Bormann.
Maxi Bormann. Mi papá estaba trabajando para Bormann, ¿viste?
All right.
Martin Bormann.
Yeah, no. Let him.
Emilio is meant to be dead in Germany. He dies in 1945 at the Battle of Berlin. Are you sure your father worked for Martin Bormann in Argentina?
Sí, estaba cerca.
Yes, for certain.
Martin Bormann is the second most important man in the Nazi world. He's Hitler's number 2. He was the secretary of the Nazi Party and the man who ran the money. And he's in Argentina. This is history changing. What exactly did your father do for Martin Bormann?
Él era chofer de Bormann, chofer. Chofer le llevaba aquí para allá y le cuidaba.
He was Martin Bormann's chauffeur. He'd take him around back and forth.
He tells that his father drove Bormann to San Ignacio at some point, and then Bormann just disappeared into the jungle.
San Ignacio is the closest civilized place to the Nazi military complex that we found in the jungle. Doesn't feel like a coincidence to me. Incredible story, but it fits with so much else that we've begun to learn again here. We came to Argentina hunting Hitler. What we've now discovered is that his deputy, the most important man after Hitler in the whole Nazi party, Martin Bormann, was here.
So, no, let's go back to who Martin Ludwig Bormann was. He started off as being a PR guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then he slowly made it. He's kind of like a Littlefinger character.
Mm-hmm.
He was always there. He was called the gatekeeper when it came to Hitler. He was always the one who was always there. They used to say by the end, like, if Hitler was there, Bormann was there. Everybody needed to go through him to actually get an audience with Hitler. He was extremely manipulative, very good at what he was doing behind the scenes. He rarely appeared like Himmler or Hess or Göring or Goebbels as a figure who was presented as somebody who was the face of the Third Reich. So he's doing things behind the scenes. He's also extremely interested in staying really close to the Fuhrer and managing who can see him, who can't see him. And then he's manipulating things where he's trying to do things like, well, I know you guys are high up there in my boss's kind of like hierarchy, but you need to go through me. And to have that status and also to be so behind the scenes means that he's very cunning, very smart, knows what he's doing. And yeah, going back to the way he at the very end when they went from the chancellery in Berlin to then Hitler kind of like going into the Führerbunker, and he was there with him the whole. He was like his right hand man. He was always there. He wasn't just the president of the chancellery. He was also his personal secretary. So he was dealing with everything that was administration, signing papers, like he was just always there. And that would like I'm just thinking about myself, like I know I have to like do a lot of things, but if somebody's just constantly like influencing me to do things, so he's a really shady character.
He's also a very dangerous man. Um he yes, he was very influential. um and we'll find a little so we just found out that there is credence to the fact that he was here. More information is going to come out later about Martin Bormann, and
You know, he
that
used to out of all of the like higher ups around Mustache Man, he used to wear a uniform that stood out because the majority would wear like dark gray, right? Or black. He was always wearing brown, which gave him the nickname of Your Brown Eminence. Even
I did
from
not know that.
Himmler and Hess and everybody, like they were afraid of him. They did not want to get on his bad side.
Yes, and that's something we actually find out later, that when asked about, there's another person who's closer to Martin Bormann that they find later on, and they say everybody was terrified of him.
Yeah.
Everyone was terrified of him. So no, he. Oh, all right. See you, buddy. Appreciate you being here, man.
Take care, Bush.
So, yeah, just not a nice man.
Well, that's incredible information. We have a gentleman in Argentina who is telling the team that his father was Martin Bormann's driver.
That's a hell of a statement. Bob and John review the findings from Misiones Argentina, where they have uncovered testimony that Martin Bormann was living there after World War II.
Yeah, look what we have here. A document dated May 14th, 1948. Bormann was considered to have secured absolute control of the machinery of the Nazi Party by the end of 1944. This mole-like creature was insatiable in his appetite for reality of power.
Yeah.
By his invariable presence, he gradually became indispensable to Hitler. He succeeded ultimately in removing all rivals about his master's throne.
Martin Bormann ran the show. He was Hitler's right-hand man, his consigliere. Hitler didn't make any move, didn't do anything without checking with Bormann. Well, let me say it's an extraordinary statement. Historical record has that the Bormann died in Berlin. He never made it out.
During the final days of the war, Martin Bormann was by
extraordinary.
This is a cool little
historical
video
record
right here.
has that the Bormann died in Berlin. He never made it out.
During the final days of the war, Martin Bormann was by Hitler's side in the Führerbunker.
The barrage, just the barrage of artillery. I mean, and Clifton, you can lend credence to this. There are so many places in Berlin still that just they show the signs of what happened 80 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it. Was it last episode when they showed the Siegessäule with all the bullet holes in the statues and stuff? So I mean, yeah, they do still have that, and just yeah, there are little things here and there, but a lot of the stuff has actually just been covered over. I mean,
Take care,
Appreciate
Dempsey.
it. Yeah, see you, Dempsey. Thanks for
Take
hanging
care,
out,
man.
man. It's always nice to see the same, familiar faces, long time watchers. And we'll see them tomorrow night for House of the Dragon. So, good old Hot D. It's still probably my favorite acronym from because Game of Thrones. We're gonna go. Oh, I'm gonna watch some God. What? But Hot D just works. What do you think, Clifton, about Hot D?
No, have fun. Go and check out Dempsey and Ryan Roger Athe on their stream.
Absolutely.
Said like actual cool like rock music.
Yeah.
What was that again? This.
That's what you do.
No, I know.
But yeah, in this case, okay, like Borman is such a controversial character when it comes to hunting him, because okay, let's get into the episode. It kind of like
May 1st, 1945, a day after Hitler's alleged suicide, Bormann and the leader of the Nazi youth attempted to escape Berlin. But hours later, Bormann was believed to have been killed by Soviet artillery near Lehrter Station, a mile and a half from the bunker.
There he's supposed to be dead in Berlin. But the evidence is inconclusive. There's no body, there's no forensics. There was enough doubt that he died that the War Crimes Tribunal in Nuremberg prosecuted Martin Bormann in absentia.
May it please your honor, the defendant's absent.
I worked for the International War Crimes Tribunal. It's an immense undertaking. It's an unimaginable undertaking. And there's no way in my mind that the Nuremberg War Crimes Tribunal would have wasted resources and prosecuted Martin Bormann and asked the court to convict him if they didn't think he was alive.
When you have a man that says, look, my father was Bormann's driver, it's really quite fantastic, but we have to run it down. What we need to do is get somebody who's got a handle on the facts of the case.
The team makes contact with Graham Wood, a journalist for The Atlantic and lecturer at Yale University, who spent 9 years investigating the Bormann case.
We have come across a man who...
19 years. That's your whole, like, that's literally most people's professional career.
yeah, okay.
Like, what do you mean? Yeah, okay.
No, let's see what they say. Already, I have a problem with everything that they're saying.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, and again, we do this in live reaction, so I didn't know that she actually had a problem with that.
Claims his father was the driver of Martin Bormann.
In Misiones, Argentina.
I mean, what do you think about that?
It's possible. I mean, we don't know what happened to Bormann. There's evidence in both directions. The official story is that he left the bunker and died on the spot. But there was no one there to witness that except for the leader of the Nazi Party youth. And a lot of people were...
Okay, that is factually not true. That is not true, History Channel. That is not true. He was not the only person who witnessed that. There were other people who did witness it, including, okay, so when on the 30th, allegedly, thingy Minecrafted himself, and then they had at least 10 planned routes for the whole team who were staying in the Führer bunker, including Brockmann and Axmann and other people, the leader of the Hitler Youth. He's not the leader of the Hitler Youth. I don't know why they say that. He was one of the leaders, and a whole bunch of other people. And so it was called Plan 3. They had 10 plans for people to escape the bunker, and they would go through the U-Bahn tunnels. And that is one of the routes that Brockmann and him and, God, the other guy's name who was the physician, the SS Dr. Stupefiger?
I'd have to see it to pronounce it.
Yeah.
Ludwig Stupefiger, like he was there with him, and then Oxman was supposed to be in a different group. So they all had people from the bunker that were escaping through different routes. And this is a real thing.
Allegedly.
No, it's not allegedly because it happened. The documents are there. You can see them talking to each other. Brockman actually sent messages on the 5th to his wife from the Fuhrer bunker saying, like, you need to go to this place in the Alps with our 10 kids. And I'm going to go and be there on the 22nd or 23rd of May, 1945. He again sent a message to somebody else in the Alps saying, you need to provide enough food and everything for a whole bunch of people who are escaping. So he had the plan to escape. These are messages that are real, that have been documented, found. He wanted to escape. So these guys go, right? So there's like whatever, 4 of them. Hitler's pilots, Braun, or whatever his name was, also Brockman, his like right hand man, then stupid friggin' whatever his name is in German, physician, and also this Hitler Youth guy, Arthur Axmann. And they all went on this route. They went into the tunnels, and then they somehow did a really weird turn, and then they had to go up onto the street, and then they had to go back into the tunnels, and then weird stuff started happening. And at the end of the day, Axmann, who was the youngest out of all of them, he kind of like, when he was captured initially, he said, well, look, I saw their bodies, they're dead. And like the Soviets were like, okay, where are the bodies? And he's like, well, I don't know. The bodies are not here anymore. Then back in like, and fast forward to 1970, whatever, some guy comes out and he's like, I was working for the Berlin Postal Service, and I was the one the Red Army asked me to bury these bodies. And it's like, where did you bury them? They start digging, can't find anything. Then suddenly, later, again, a couple of years later, they discover these bodies, and it's Brockman, and it's what's his name?
Show it, because I only know of Theodore.
No, he
Morel.
was an SS doctor. Stumpfegger.
Hold on.
Feger. Stumpfegger. He was the one who was escaping with Brockman. And they both, like, there's so many different theories, and their bodies were found. Like, there's so much weird stuff going on that doesn't make any sense. But then, like,
what do you think the name is again?
Stumpfegger.
It's just...
Stumpfegger. He was an SS doctor who escaped with Brockman.
I don't see anybody on the list of known Nazi doctors with that last name. The only S's I have are Schmallenbach, Schneider. Sorry, excuse me, and that's it. The only ones with S's.
It's Ludwig. Okay, I'll say it in English. Stump, Fegger.
Okay, it's an F, so that's different.
What did I say?
Wait, S what?
S. Stumpfegger. Stumpfegger.
Okay. Stumpfegger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know who that is?
No.
I don't
heard of
either.
him before, so, but I mean, SS Obersturmbannführer, born 1910, died on the 2nd of May, 45.
So maybe he
Yes.
wasn't known as a doctor, on their list of actual. Does that make sense? Maybe he was kind of.
No, because okay, yes, it does
He
make
was
sense. 'Cause again,
mhm.
like
He was a doctor of medicine, yeah.
like
But what was his primary role? Because I don't. Did he act as a physician?
I don't know, but he was there in the bunker.
Okay.
And their escape was on the 1st of May. It was him, Bormann, and him and Axman. They were the ones who were doing it, and they were supposed to go over that bridge. It starts with a W. I forget its name. And like the Soviets and the Allies were attacking, and there's like 3 to 10 different theories, but this guy was never the one who's Hitler's like closest right hand man. They
Martin
found
Bormann?
his body, right? And this is what they're talking about. And they're
Yes.
saying like, "Oh no, the body was never." No, this is factually not true. Whether you're going to go into conspiracy theories, and we can go into that, but maybe West Germany at the time, and we can start speculating, but they did find remains. They did do DNA and genetic tests, which showed that he died right there. Again, if you believe in conspiracy theories and governments trying to cover things up for their own benefit, sure. But there has been a genetic test, which is the official thing, which says he died right there. He was trying to escape the bunker with this doctor guy and the Hitler Youth dude. Hitler Youth dude ran away. They both ran towards the bridge, and then somehow they died. And then years later, they found their remains. Okay, going from Occam's razor.
Do you know the problem with what you're saying? And this what they actually allude to in this? There's red clay.
Oh my god. Yes, I know about the red clay.
There's
I mean,
there's no red clay in the whole entire European continent. Ever.
Yes, I do understand, but again, to jump through hoops and to make it seem like the Western German government is really trying to cover something up, go to Paraguay, where this guy supposedly lived in South America, dig up his body, bring it all the way back to Berlin to plant it in a place in Berlin where this guy 30 years ago said that he buried him, and then planted there, and his everything looks the same. His skull, his dental records, everything is the same. Like, come on, like,
And
how many mental jumps do you have to go through? It doesn't make any
and
sense.
and then threw the bones into the Baltic Sea so nobody could ever test them again?
Well, Americans did it with Bin Laden, so
yeah,
I know. That's
I
kind of
wanted
a
to bring that
problem.
up. It's like, yeah, that's what I wanted to bring up. Like on one hand, like that's the official story, definitely that they found his remains.
Mm.
But at the same time, you can like, I would say there's enough of an argument that it could be a conspiracy theory. Like, yeah, you know, they did that, just like
Mm.
is Bin Laden really dead because they threw him out in the ocean. But yeah, I mean, I think they should make that a little bit clearer. Like, yeah, the official thing
And
is this.
like again, like I'm always trying to in my head like have different theories, which I do.
Mhm.
And so right now when we're watching this episode, that's what comes to my mind. I'm like, "Oh, come on, are you really serious?" Later on when they get into it, like I have at least 3 theories.
Yeah, but governments lie. And the US government, the Gulf of
Of
Tonkin
course.
incident, I mean, there's
Yeah.
there's numerous things, and there are only a few places on this planet where red clay is a thing. It is the southern United States and South America.
Okay. That
It
doesn't mean anything though.
it does though if it's on the bones that
No,
were found.
it does not mean anything. You could have that body could have been anybody's. And again, like, what
But
are
didn't
you
you say it was
implying, that he's still living in Paraguay, or he died in Paraguay and then they went and dug up his body and transported it to Berlin? Like, come on.
and then
This
threw it
is-
into the ocean? Yeah.
yeah, no. This is
I'd actually
stupid.
buy that more than I'd buy the fact that like they're like, oh, we didn't know where he was for like 25 years. Then in 1971, they're like going, oh, all of a sudden, hello. Like, yeah.
It's good to entertain these things, and you knowing, like, being, a former police officer, you always have to, you can't just focus on one, like, tunnel vision. You have to investigate every lead.
True, but I
Here,
go by the evidence
so
on hand.
nonsense. Where is the evidence?
Again,
It's
there's
all circumstantial.
not if they found red clay on the actual body after examining it. What's up, CLS? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, man.
Why? I'm late, but not gay. Nobody said you were. It's only late and gay if I do it, from what I understand. Because whenever,
No,
like,
I agree with you. I'm always, like, trying to, like,
no,
get the
I appreciate that you push back. You should, and I mean, I'm pushing back against you. And then Clifton's sitting there going, I don't know what to say. Kidding, dude. I'm kidding.
I think Clifton has a lot to say, actually. I think he
I think he
kind of
does. And it,
No, I mean, I basically did say it, like, yeah, this is the official thing what Germany is saying. And of course there are always going to be questions because of them doing weird shit like throwing it out in the ocean. It's like, why?
yeah, or like whenever you have um somebody recovering remains and then evidence gets lost, misplaced, and like, how the hell does that happen? I know shit happens, but like with this kind of like level of, I mean, this is a massive thing. You found somebody who was like so close to Hitler. So I have my own thoughts on why that might have been the case. I'm not saying it was, but we'll get into it. But for
CL
now,
says, oh, sorry. CL says, you three are the perfect panel. Laugh out loud, all different but entertaining. Well, they say opposites attract. So that's right, looking at you, Clifton.
we love you. Sierra.
I'm kidding. Dude, you got. Oh, now that I know that it messes with you, it's going to be hard to stop. Wow, that does sound really dirty too. Maybe I should stop. So we went on I believe we actually
Yeah, let's
went
go
on a,
to this Borman guy, because like he's a really interesting character too. And like I
Mhm.
said, he's like the little finger.
For it, including major historians who saw possibly an alibi to get Bormann to safety. In the 1960s, German authorities excavate that area.
God damn it, Andy. Don't make it weird, Ryan. That's my shtick. What else? I'm like, wow, Clifton left too.
Mhm.
Andy, that's just making it weird. It's kind of my shtick. If I don't have that, I have nothing. Why do you hate me?
Area and to look for Bormann's bones, but they didn't find Bormann's body there. Instead, they found nothing. For someone as prominent as Bormann to still be at large would have been just one more way of pulling Germany.
Okay,
back into the
again, this is not true. This is History Channel. Stop doing this. Why don't you start with saying, like,
Well, they said 1966.
no, I don't care what they're saying. They're leading the audience to believe into the conspiracy theory. I don't like that. You start with your factual evidence. There was a guy who did this, who was this part of the regime, whatever. He decided to escape with these people. Then this person shows up in 1945 who was like a postal service guy, because they were at Berlin, was trying to clean up the bodies after the war ended, and he said that he came across the body of two of those guys and he buried them. Then you have it going to the later in the day when West Germany is investigating and they can't find any of these bodies. Then suddenly they do find the bodies later on in the 70s.
1973.
And they do the whole like forensic analysis, and they say everything matches with this and that, and then there are discrepancies. But don't go into this thing where it's like everything, no, we start with it doesn't. I don't like that. Start with the facts and then go into, hey, look, this doesn't really make sense to me. This doesn't feel like I need to explore this more. Don't start the conversation with, oh, this is bullshit. That's what I don't like that they do.
I literally just Googled it, and it says his body was buried at nearby on May 8th, 1945, but was not found and confirmed as Borman's until 1973. The identification was reaffirmed in 1998 by DNA tests. It
Exactly.
was not
But
found and confirmed until 1973.
no, what are you Wikipediaing?
No.
Okay, the remains were found in the 70s. Exactly where the postal guy said that, and where that Artur Hitler Youth guy said that he saw them perish.
Mm-hmm. And you don't
And the
think
construction workers in the 70s found the bodies. Then there was whatever you call it. I don't remember the technical name, like dental identification back then, because we didn't really have DNA until 1998 when they did do the DNA test. And they said it
that guy's
matches
good.
exactly to his skull. So if you're thinking about it, the science proves, but okay, in 1998, what we have West Germany being so like, oh my God, we're into this conspiracy. We need to let everybody know that it was actually him. Like an independent professor of genealogy from the University of whatever it was, Munich. Like, come on.
I mean, I guess I'm missing the point. You feel very strongly about this, and I'm not sure why.
Because it's not presented as fact.
Well, they said they looked for him in 1966 and couldn't find him, and then he wasn't found until 1973. It
No,
kind of
but
actually lends credence to some of what you're saying, right?
no, it doesn't, because what they're doing is they're trying to bait their audience into keep watching when they know what the facts are. Who was this guy who's saying like, "Oh my God, yeah, they didn't know," and look at all of these inconsistencies, like Hitler's jaw or Eva Braun's jaw, like didn't have like when we just the Soviets discovered. Like I've watched so many documentaries. Like science does not lie. I don't think in 1998, Clifton, I don't know about you, but I don't think West Germany is going to be sitting there and trying to cover up DNA.
No, but Germany
no.
tries to cover up its past all the time. They won't talk about it. They won't even acknowledge that these things happened. And no, I'm not joking. I mean, it's
I'm
like-
gonna go fun. Bye.
I would say that Germany at that time was probably one of the most honest nations when it comes to stuff like this. Finding this stuff.
And yes, Jacob is spot on. Yes, Hunting Hitler came out when the History Channel was going from history to Pawn Stars 24/7. So they may, yes, and we do laugh about the sensational stuff.
Yeah.
I even laugh at things that seem sensational to me, but nobody else laughs, and then I kind of like chuckle about it because Anna's like, "I don't think that was sensational." I was like, "You didn't?" That's like I kind of do now, like because no,
No,
she's
but
very correct with about the sensationalism.
I think in this situation it's important. Like you don't tell your audience to like you bait them, and then you don't actually give the other like in-depth side of the other story. You just kind of bait them for them to be able to continue watching because of the conspiracy shit. Like I don't like that. That's one thing I don't like. So
Yeah,
if
like he
people
glosses over the fact that yeah, the body's been found, but he goes more into the conspiracy theory that there is something else going on, and that's what
which is fine, but you have to be
Also, real quick, can we realize for 5 seconds, conspiracy theory is a made up thing by the CIA to disenfranchise people, calling out the truth. Just no, it really is. It was in a CIA document released for the Freedom of Information Act. So let's just say theories. There are crazy people who have theories. Conspiracy theory was
Like,
coined by the CIA.
I am the biggest person who's open to things like that. If you give me evidence and things that do not make sense. So one of the theories is that Martin Bormann went into a tank, a tiger tank, and was somebody said that they saw him do that. One of the guys he was escaping with, the Hitler Youth dude, Arthur Achman, he said, I saw him get into how the hell are you going to get into a tank? Why are you getting into a tank? And then he was wearing like his Nazi. Why are you wearing a Nazi uniform as the Allies and the Soviets are attacking you? You're on the battle. Wouldn't you want to be like disguised as somebody else? It doesn't make any sense. So you have to take all of these like witness accounts into like take it with a grain of salt and then look at one side, the other side, and we don't have an answer. We don't know. But one thing that really kind of did solidify it for me is that fucking asshole, Adolf Eichmann, when he finally was caught by Mossad. Mossad are one of the best intelligence agencies in the world. And they interviewed Eichmann for a very long time after he was captured and brought back to Israel to stand trial for his war crimes. But he said Martin Bormann is alive and he's in South America. Then there was the guy who was in charge of Treblinka and Sobibor concentration camps, who was also captured. German Nazi, high-ranking guy. He also said that this dude is in South. So why are they saying this? That to me is the best evidence that he is like. Why would they be saying this? Because they don't want to put heat on themselves or other people going to South America.
Yeah.
There's an episode we haven't gotten to yet. It's going to add a whole lot to this. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah, I mean, they give you piece by piece, really.
Well, they didn't actually discover this until, I believe, the end of this season.
Yeah.
Again, I very much understand where you're coming from, but as somebody to take things from the evidence, if somebody admitted to me they murdered a person and they said, you'll find them right here. We go, we dig up the body, we find them there. They're in said grave. But we examine the body and we find soil from somewhere 500 miles away. The first thing you have to ask is, what's this about? Because this person was not buried here initially.
Okay, I'm really confused about the soil thing because the samples were destroyed. It was a first-hand account. People saying they've never seen anything like that. Everything was destroyed. There was no tests being conducted. It could have been something that somebody imported, or like there's so much reasonable doubt. There were never, all the samples were destroyed. There were no tests carried out.
Also, I'm kind of alluding to the other direction. There's reasonable doubt to think that he was buried there the whole time. So if we were looking for a murder conviction, that you wouldn't be able to get one because there's reasonable doubt on all fronts. That's the problem. I think is where we're all kind of going with this. Let's go. Let's let the guy finish, or do I need to fast forward because I don't want to keep jumping on this. We went for another 10 minutes.
No, go ahead.
I mean, this is what intelligent panels do, though. I mean, discussion's good.
I really didn't want to remember. A few years later, in 1972, the German authorities, for no real reason of new evidence, searched again in the area where Bormann had allegedly died. And miraculously, after having searched that area already in the 1960s, in that very same spot, they found his bones. And they said, it's over. We found it. No need to continue looking for him. His DNA analysis showed that these bones almost certainly were Bormann's. The question is, were they always there? Were they there from May 1st, 1945?
But what's the evidence that he lived?
When people looked at those bones, the evidence was really not as clear as I think many would have liked. There was dental work on the skull that was post-1940s technology. Also suspicious, there was the fact that the soil that was attached to the bones had a kind of red, iron-rich clay, which is something that you don't find anywhere in Germany, but is common for the soil of certain parts of South America.
We have a skull in Berlin with clay that's only found in South America.
Also with advanced dentistry work post 1945, they shouldn't have glossed over that. So
this is a potential major break in this investigation.
And then
Something else that I thought, could there be an error in the translation? Because in Germany, there's a lot of freaking red sandstone.
maybe the problem is though is that clay is very different than basic dirt.
Okay, as a kid, whenever I went in Russia, not 70 kilometers from Moscow, we had red clay. I can imagine Germany has it too. This is what I'm saying. Where is the scientific, probing the clay? The clay was destroyed.
And that's part of the problem. Why would they destroy it? I mean, why would you want to destroy that? Why would you throw the bones into the Baltic Sea? Why would you just want to get rid of one of the most notorious people in history? I'm not saying you need to give him a proper burial, but you should probably keep him somewhere in an archive because he was a heinous human being that I mean, as science advances, why would you want to throw that out?
And I have a theory, but
So, I mean, I don't know. I'm not defending either side of this. I'm just saying it's super weird, super weird.
it is. Yeah.
And again, when I heard that they threw Osama bin Laden into the ocean, I was like, really? You just decided to dump him off an aircraft carrier? Like, this is a heinous person. But sure, why not?
1999, the Germans decided nobody would be looking at these bones in the future, and they threw them out of an airplane into the Baltic. So if anyone wants to test them now, they'll have to get some scuba gear.
Like the Hitler case.
The Baltic Ocean is frigid. You're going to need more than scuba gear. Like, it's one of the it's no. Just no.
There was no forensics. There was no good evidence that he died. They didn't have a body. They didn't have a witness they could completely trust. And the fact is that the forensics we do have are wrong. That completely opens up this whole thing. Bormann is sort of the key for Hitler's fate. If Hitler did make it to South America, he took people with him.
That's the bottom line, isn't it? Martin Bormann very well may take us one step closer to Adolf Hitler.
Let's look for a street name.
In Misiones, Argentina, Gerard Williams and Tim Kennedy have uncovered a Nazi network in the area with potential connections to Hermann Goering and Martin Bormann.
We have to break this network down. We have to see how deep it goes and where this web reaches.
And who was here?
Now they have located the home of a potential Nazi fugitive who may still be living in the area.
There was another guy as well with the name Edmundo. He was an old parachute soldier.
We know that Misiones is flooded with Nazis, senior Nazis, SS, you name it, they were there. We may have uncovered a living Nazi in this town. We need to go talk to him.
I think it's on the other side. Excellent. There it is.
All right. We have to approach this interview very carefully, take it slow, ease our way into conversation. What is this? So we're trying to find an Edmondo.
Sí, Edmundo es mi padre. Él falleció hace 2
And this
años.
guy was much more
is
open
his
to
father, but
showing
he
them
passed
and
away.
helping them out than what it seemed like on episode 1 when they presented this guy.
Mm-hmm. True.
Yep.
Very, very, very true. Again, it is a docu-series. It is not a documentary. It's a docu-series. There is some sensationalism to it.
Some years ago.
Okay. We're researchers looking for some information that your father might have known. Would you talk to us for a few minutes?
Buscamos un poquito información sobre tu papá, tal vez.
Sí, no hay problema. No hay problema. Please, por favor, pasen. Pasen.
Gracias.
So, we've heard that your father was an important man in the area. Can you tell us about your dad? Where he was born, how he grew up?
Bueno, él cuando tenía 14 años entró a la juventud hitleriana. Y a los 10.
So when he was 14 years old, he joined the Hitler Youth. When he was 16, he went directly into combat. 16. Also, at the same time, many people don't realize that at 16 and a half in this country, you are actually free to join the U.S. Army Infantry. So it's pretty insane, in my opinion. My job as military police, I had to wait till 18. So that's why, even though I signed on the dotted line at 16 and a half, I think the appropriate age is 18. You should not be able to sign before that, in my opinion. But that's crazy.
16 años entró a combate directamente.
Did your father ever speak about the war? Did he ever talk about his time in service?
Sí, él contaba muchas historias de la guerra, tenía inclusive
A lot of stories, not just stories. He'd bring out medals and photos.
Medallas, tenía fotos.
Do you still have them?
¿Todavía lo tienes?
Sí, tengo.
I'd love to see them. I really would love to see them.
Bueno.
Also, whatever anybody thinks about the Third Reich and all that kind of stuff, many of these kids, many of the soldiers were just kids, and they thought they were fighting for their country. They didn't know anything about, the Holocaust or anything like that. There were people who did know, but these kids who went to Stalingrad and stuff like that, they just thought they were fighting for their country. And so it's kind of interesting to see the stark contrast. I mean, and the German people were abused after World War I. They were blamed for everything. They were made to pay for everything, and Germany was there were bread lines. People were starving, and it's kind of alludes to the fact that it was easy for this well-spoken man. And if you listen to the old speeches and stuff like that, and they've done this on Joe Rogan, sounds very angry. They're very, it's like, and then you can use, there are AI features that actually translate it in real time, and it doesn't sound as angry. It sounds very different. I would,
towards the end, he definitely sounded more angry, but
yeah,
in the beginning, his speeches when he was in the beer halls and stuff in Munich, they weren't, they were angry to the point of the anger that all of the Germans had at the time with their own government, with the Weimar Republic just bending the knee and saying, yes, it's our fault, we'll pay for everything. And
yep.
So yeah, but
what happened after World War II is how it probably should have been handled after World War I. The world just said, it's your fault, you're going to pay for it. And the government conceded to that, to where after World War II, when Germany was left in literal shambles, again, the United States says, no, we're going to stay, and we're going to try to make this place habitable, livable again for its citizens. it wasn't all your fault. And because it wasn't every
Yeah.
German citizen's fault. It was one crazy man who got this cult following. And yes, it was a cult.
Yeah.
So it's
I had a German teacher. He always said, "What other nation in the world had 2 chances to get it right?" Germany. Still didn't get it right, if you ask me, but
got it right for a long time. For a long time, but
Yeah.
I think it was because due to the influence of the United States. I think one of the biggest mistakes we ever made was pulling a lot of troops out of Germany. Um, I think American influence was good there. Again, I worked at in Heidelberg, and it's what was called Campbell Barracks. You could literally see the German soldiers throughout the years over the entranceway gate. It was a prominent figure in the Third Reich. Those buildings. I mean, shit. I lived in the Nazi SS barracks. No, that's not a joke. That's legit. Where our company was in the basement was actually the morgue that they put bodies in. The U.S. repurposed it, of course. So you kind of felt the ghosts of everything everywhere. But there was
Yeah.
one lady, and I know she's probably been dead for probably a couple decades. Um, she would come every Sunday, and she would leave flowers in front of the gate, and she did it because she remembered the fact that the United States liberated the German people from such horridness. And we would go out there and we give her food, we give her water and stuff like that because it'd be 100 degrees out. She's out there tending these flowers that she brought every week.
Yeah.
So it's again, I just I'm not trying to personalize make people out of the monsters. I'm trying to make
No,
sure
but
that people are not considered monsters.
okay, but it is personal. It is a very personal thing. We've lost people that we love, and other people that we might know to this ideology and this idea and this whole war. So how do you go forward and not repeat the same mistakes? Talking about all of these conspiracy theories, how are you gonna? It's good that we're still talking about it, right? That's the best thing. We can all agree with what happened, but shining the spotlight onto those horrible people who did this thing. Like, I don't know, like I was watching again something called the Tattooist of Auschwitz, which is based on a book, and it's a new show that came out a couple of weeks ago, and like it's more about the love story of a Jewish man from Slovakia who finds the love of his life being in Auschwitz, Birkenau, too, and just seeing the relationships and how things are done. It's more about the human connections and how things are different. And just watching some of that makes me sick to my core. I don't want people to continue to be in that situation ever again. Unfortunately, that's like an idealistic view. Talking about idealism, one thing today is the 5th of May, which is Karl Marx's birthday.
That dude can eat a bag of assholes.
And he was a Jew.
Oh, I doubt it.
Yeah.
The show you're talking about. I want to watch that.
Yeah, Karl Marx was born to a Jewish family. He was, I think, baptized when he was like 6 or something. But he always had this like champagne socialist approach to everything. And he was very, there's a lot of debate with historians with his Das Kapital or Communist Manifesto with Engels. He was always kind of like, I don't really want to be associated with being Jewish. Like I don't get that. And to me immediately it's like, no, it's weird. I don't like it. It's your heritage. It's something, why are you so ambivalent towards Jewish people, even though you're Jewish yourself and you're trying to, that is weird to me.
Jacob says it was, and then I'll let you go, Clifton, because you've been kind of quiet. It was more than just Hitler. A lot of people followed orders that knew that what was happening with the concentration. Absolutely, they did. Absolutely, they did.
I mean, people saw the Jews being round up. What did they think was happening with them? I mean,
Yeah.
There were civilians that were hiding Jews in
Mm-hmm.
the floors and stuff. I mean, so people knew. I just think a lot of people decided to just not say anything. Just,
Turn an eye.
Yeah.
Blind eye. Yeah.
Because they probably knew they'd be rounded up too.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't fault anyone for doing that. It's it's scary, definitely. And I would think if something like that would happen today, like I would hope that I would be one of those people that would try to help them out,
Yeah.
But you never know until something like that happens, and I just hope we never have to find out.
The Uyghur Muslims. We said never again, and it's again. Also,
Yeah.
not to be the downer of this stream. There are more slaves on this planet than any time in history. Roughly about 29.4 million, the majority in Africa.
The majority of them are actual children being trafficked.
Yep. That's gross too.
Yeah. But yeah, going back to history, again, I just like seeing how shallow this interpretation is, and I understand coming from this background, you need to condense everything into an episode, but to me, it just seems really shallow and dumbed down, and all I can say is go and research it, do it yourself. Don't rely on,
But I think it's a History Channel. They're trying to make entertainment. And I mean, I think that's just where it comes from, that they may be more shallow, and they may bring information later on that will support whatever they're trying to get across and stuff like that. And just because people, they won't go and check it out, they're just there to watch something interesting. And if you go into the details of everything, you might lose the viewership. And I think that's the
Jacob
problem.
actually said a really good thing, which I wanted to bring up as well. You don't hear it talked about much, but there was a German resistance to the Nazis. Most of them got killed. So,
shot in the streets.
again, on this day today, 5th of May, 1945, there was a massive battle that happened at the castle of Itta. Itter. I don't know how to pronounce it properly in German, but Itter. It was the only time U.S. troops allied with German troops in terms of renegade, the ones who were against the regime, to ally with them to rescue a whole bunch of political prisoners who were French, who were being held. They were hostage in the castle, and it was a massive battle, and they were trying to stop the advance of the Nazis, and the German renegades and the US and the Allies aligned with them. That's the only known time in history today on the 5th of May.
Operation Cowboy. Yep.
Yeah. Oh my God, I would love to see a film about that. That would be so awesome.
I was actually going to kind of bring that up because, again, the most famous one was Operation Valkyrie, which there was the Tom Cruise movie. It's a very good movie. and it was a legitimate thing. It was legitimate members of the party saying, "No, this is wrong. We need to stop this."
Yeah.
So, and they failed, and they were all killed. So no,
Yeah, that would be a really good film.
yeah. Unfortunately, totalitarianism doesn't have a whole lot of room for dissent or other opinions, and it's so that, and that's one of the reasons too that like going when somebody disagrees with you on Twitter and the first thing you do be like, "Oh, what are you like a Nazi?" And it's like, you know, that has meaning, right? That term has so much blood on it that you're the bad person for trying to call me that over a difference of opinion. These are people who did heinous things in history. And then, well, you find out they're stumping for the fact that they want socialism and communism. It's like going, all right, well, it just wasn't done right in history. And look, all of this is what we're talking about. Even the stuff today has happened in history, and apparently we haven't learned. Well, some of us haven't learned. Communism was never done right. It'll never be done right, and because quite frankly,
I would
human
disagree with
beings.
that. I think no, I don't think it's a good concept, but I think certain parts were done right. I think with any kind of social system, we're all trying to find that utopia where everything works. In every kind of communism right now is kind of like the bitch and boy for everyone who wants to go the other way. No, there are things that were done right. Caring about your society, caring about the ones that need help. Don't make it into making me pay more tax though. So there's so many nuances to it, but I think every system has like a legitimate existence. It's just when it's like, okay, so you came from the Soviet Union, therefore, oh my God, you're a horrible person. Or you don't understand how things. No, I can understand in this social political system how this works or this works. I don't necessarily agree with this. I don't agree with this. Therefore, what are we going to do? You have to agree with something to function in society. And for now, the best thing to do is to go with social democratic kind of things where I earn my money, I pay enough tax to pay my bills and the fact that the street lights, but don't take 40 or 50% of my tax to give to somebody who's sitting on their ass and having 10 kids a year. No. Like that's where it's coming from.
Yeah.
You don't go to extremes. You need to have a balance. Same thing with food. Like we were talking today, like food in England and food in America is like this. Like you get fresh food in America and you get food. It's the freaking amount of money from your salary that you actually pay is probably 50% for actually living and buying food and paying your bills. So, and then the rest goes to the National Health Service so some immigrant can go and get a free appointment. And I need to sit there as a working citizen of this country and wait for 6 weeks, whereas they can get it like that. No. Like you have to like put things into account and like really be dialectical about it, not go to one side, other side. And if you do, that's fine. But then don't go after the other side. That's all I'm saying. Just be more like
Clifton, did you want to say something?
No, I agree. Like there's positive and negatives in any system that you put up. The thing is cherry pick the good things and just work on the system that you have and get it better, really.
yeah.
I mean, look at capitalism. It's not what it was 100 years ago.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
And
it's transformed, and it's still, it's still not perfect. Nothing's perfect. So,
and I would probably argue, unfortunately, that the country that I live in is no longer a constitutional republic. It has a lot more it has a lot more leans towards an oligarchy, and that's kind of sad because that's not what it was meant to be. This country was meant to be the best, the biggest, and also at the same time turned out to be the best experiment that has ever happened in the world. And quite frankly, because of people wanting, because against human nature, as Andy, and this is what I was alluding to, greed is something that will always be in the hearts of bad people. And people who are greedy want power and money, and they want to tell the others how to live their lives. So, yeah, it's well, this one got heavy.
Well,
that's
no.
good. These are discussions that are good to have.
Yeah, I mean, again, like, it's topical. It's Karl Marx. He is a very controversial figure. I mean, I've read Das Kapital. I've read the Communist Manifesto. I have so many problems with it. Some things I do agree with. I do agree with the fact that you need to take care of the ones in your society who are not able to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, disabled people, you don't go on the other extreme of just exterminate them and don't have them in your society at all. So, like,
No, that's called genocide.
it's, yeah. And like, in today's world, we're seeing such a shift. All of this is going on. It's going up and down, up and down. And as long as you just know both sides and form your own opinion, that's all that matters. Because back then, people were so easily, whether on the Soviet side or the German side or the American side, everybody was very, like, buying into these ideals. And it's really good to voice your opinion and form your own mindset. I think that's really important going forward. But yeah, this episode was very enlightening. I liked it.
Well, we're not done. There's still,
Damn, I thought we were done. Shit.
No, we're not. We're literally right here.
This is his father. We moved to our 4 wings.
Yeah. Yeah, he's such a boy, just a little boy.
Sí.
For me, this is fascinating to actually see and touch the things that are part of a history I've been working on so much. Is just incredible.
He has some more medals, he says, yeah.
Lion Cross First Class. This is the highest award of bravery. And he seems to have 2 of them. He's been awarded the Iron Cross twice. This is one very...
That's the equivalent of the U.S. Medal of Honor. The majority of recipients who have been awarded the Medal of Honor were killed in action, which means your family gets it.
Yeah.
So it's pretty significant.
Brave man. When did he come to Argentina?
En 1947 vino a la Argentina. Y se recibió en médico y abrió una clínica.
So
he received a degree
that your father was German,
medicine.
Speak to the community here, so there was a good client base.
Tenía muchos pacientes alemanes.
He had a lot of German patients.
And I suppose your father may well have treated many former Nazis in his clinic.
Claro. Sí, por eso.
Probably, I'm sure there were some.
The thing is, Alex, is that after World War II, your dad probably still feels under orders. Whether or not he's part of the Nazi organization here, I don't know. You don't know either. The only man who knows, he's no longer with us. But for the Nazi Party, 18-year-old boy, Iron Cross, he's a poster boy.
Is there any information that you have of people that your father would have known that could have been high-level Nazis? We're looking for names. I need dates.
Bueno, nombres, así, nombres,
Names, dates, ranks, I don't have.
tengo.
Which is understandable.
The thing is people don't like to talk because they have something to hide. And I know that your father's part of it. So smell.
Who's this?
Es la foto de Adolf Hitler en Misiones.
What specifics can you tell me about this photo? I need to know who took the photo, when they took the photo, where they took the photo.
No sé muchos, pero
I don't know a lot, but
el amigo de mi papá que
a
le
friend of my
regaló
father's
esa
who gave
foto,
this to him
le
claims
dijo
it's a
que
photo of
esa es la foto de Hitler
Hitler.
en el 61 y que fue tomada
61,
acá
taken here in
Misiones.
Misiones.
We have an alleged picture of an aged Adolf Hitler post-war.
To prove a picture like that's authenticity, it is imperative. But if we're able to prove that we have a photograph of Adolf Hitler, Misiones, that will be one of the most significant discoveries in this investigation, perhaps history.
Next time on Hunting Hitler.
Look at that.
En 1940 visitó Montserrat Himmler algunas cuevas en la montaña. Yo no-
Con permiso. Dicen, ¿cuevas?
Cuevas.
Hay cuevas acá. Wow. I was not expecting this at all.
Here we are, in a kitchen where the man who facilitated the deaths of close to 11 million people would make his morning coffee. Ugh, I don't want to stay in here.
What was your mother doing for Nazi Germany?
Spying.
Whoa, right here. We got an opening. That's an escape tunnel.
Anna, there was a hole. You made a comment about the fact that it's they didn't get all.
Well, gotta watch next week. Right?
That's true. I started watching it a little bit earlier. I only got like 10, 15 minutes in though. Kitty. All right. Well, that's season 2, episode number 3. Eyewitness accounts. A lot of discussion around this one. We're at almost 3 hours. So, and Andy says a search for Hitler's hole. That's right. I don't know if I would have phrased it like that, but sure. So let's Mr. Clifton 3D. What did you got going on there?
So I decided like next week, I think when we do this show again, I want to talk about the only existing 9C U-boat left in the world.
Why are you really?
Yes. What? Do you know about it?
No, but okay.
The Americans did a strategically transferred a piece of equipment to an alternate location with that one. So very interesting. What was that?
I don't know.
We're alone. Other than that, tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Central, there's Insert Culture. Hey, Ryan, you're back.
I don't know what happened.
This is gonna look so dumb. No, I'm not gonna do it.
It looks very nice. Do it.
No. Yes. Clifton. Sorry.
Yeah, no, Insert Culture and Friday Night Rumble here on Ryan's channel, Legion Talk. Always fun. And Trying to think if is there anything else. Not right now. I don't think so.
All right. I'll let the lady go last. Just out of respect. But so tomorrow night, House of the Dragon.
Bless you. Oh. El gato sneezed. Bless you, sir.
Oh, I was like,
Gesundheit.
Gesundheit. Yeah, and then Wednesday night is overbooked with JV, Left Eye Ego, and Brad. So that should be fun. Talk about wrestling. Then we're doing again, yes, Friday night's Royal Rumble is back after a decent hiatus. So yeah, it's and then lastly and certainly not the least, thank you to the chat. And also Anna, after you.
Thank you, everybody in chat who is. No, I was gonna speak a weird language. Все, кто пришли сегодня на чат, спасибо большое. Thank you very much. Happy Orthodox Easter. Christos Voskres. Christ is risen. Very happy to hear you guys and to have you there, and also Ryan and Clifton. Always good to talk about Mustache Man, because I really hate that dude. It's a big part of my
Me too.
mission. So I'm gonna go and find him.
All right. Well, that being said, we will be live at maybe a little bit earlier. We were a little bit late on this one. Clifton and I had not watched the episode, so that's why we're a little late. But thank you everybody for being here. You guys are awesome, and we will definitely see you next time. See ya.